Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I got a notification.
Max is late. He doesn't count. Do it again.
Shut.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God! Just
1, 2, 3. Everybody, Happy New Year. Oh, you guys.
Happy New Year.
It's like herding cats. I swear. Really?
Herding cats. I haven't heard that one.
We're not even buzzed yet, and we can't even do this right. How are we going to get through?
There's obviously a delay. Let's sing.
Speak for yourself.
You're going to blame it on delay? All right, what we're going to do this one more time.
Delay.
We're going to get this right, Max. You're on a phone. I know you're on delay. So what I want to do is you on the number 2. When you hear 2, you go. That way it's all like coordinated. We're going to get this right. Ready? When you hear 2.
We'll see how big that delay is.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And everybody else fucks up. Okay, never mind. We give up on that. We don't really care about the New Year. The only reason why we care about the New Year is it gives us a chance to drink. Let's be realistic here. That's it. Come on. Is there any other reason to celebrate the New Year?
I did that last year, and I woke up in my puke, so I'm not doing it again.
Oh, I've done. You know what?
That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, we might tell some horror stories of that, but I only got what I got is Smirnoff Ice. It's a screwdriver mix. It's not very a lot because I am seriously light. Yeah, with my stomach, I can't drink that much. I'm a huge lightweight, so this is what I've got, and I probably won't even drink half that, if that. But
Steve, dump that out immediately.
I know it sucks. What? Are you saying it's a foo-foo drink? What are you trying to say?
A sorority girl.
Really? Real? Okay.
Steve, a sorority girl? No.
And what are your drinks of choice here?
Scotch.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Vodka.
Fair enough. Wait.
And I'm a bottom.
Go ahead. Well, I'll go down the list, and I want to get back to you on that, Kyle. I want to know your Scotch preference. I don't know why. Dave, what you drinking?
I drank a whole bottle of Moscato at this point.
That's wine.
Good wine. Very good wine.
Good wine.
Yeah,
okay.
it is wine. It's a very good wine too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Seth, what is your drink of choice?
Either Appletini.
Okay, you're gonna bitch about my screwdriver, and you're drinking Appletini. Does not anybody else see an issue with this?
I see an issue.
Okay.
If I'm gonna drink all night, beer, either like a Guinness or a Blue Moon or something, decent.
There's a bunch of beer in the downstairs fridge that nobody's touching. Should I get some?
Well, that's kind of a dumb question. You know what we're going to answer? Yes.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
All right. So real quick. So Kai,
Okay,
how do you drink your? Go ahead. We'll be here. And get on a computer because you have a weird delay.
I'll be back.
Okay.
I can't get on a computer. This microphone doesn't work with a computer.
Okay.
It's
Kyle.
because it's my console gaming headset.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Kyle. So how do you
I'm
drink
with
your
Sean
Scotch?
G though. I would love to have some weed.
I am a Cleland 12 neat.
Okay. I when I drink Scotch, it would be a Jameson, 12-year, with
Jameson's good.
a couple drops of water.
Jameson's good.
So, not a huge Scotch fan, but when I drink it, that's what I'll drink.
Who said they wanted weed?
Me.
Dave.
With you there, buddy. With you there.
Now, let me ask you guys, in your states, can you smoke weed? I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. You can smoke weed anywhere, but I'm just saying legally, can you buy weed in your state?
I'm in the Bible Belt, man. We will be the last state to give up our freedom from marijuana here.
You're lucky if you even have alcohol in your states then.
It wasn't until maybe 8 years ago that the city that I'm from actually became a wet city. Before then, it was dry.
It was all dry, really?
Yep, Ashburn, North Carolina. About 8 years ago.
Wow.
For real.
See, California, as of tomorrow, will be a legal marijuana state.
Rec.
No. Oh, yeah, rec. Yeah, rec. Yeah, rec. Yeah. Non-medical, so yeah.
I was going to say my brother
they
lives
got
there, and it's already...
Supposedly. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was going to say, supposedly Florida got medical, but Tallahassee's dragging their ass on that. That's all I got to say.
Well, we need to get the geek room here. If you guys are going to talk about pot, we need somebody who actually is the experts of these things. And, let's get the geek room in here. They're going to answer all these questions.
You got the link to geek room. Let's get in here. That's how I got in here, because I got the link.
Okay, I'm back.
Look, I'm not an expert, but I'm willing to do the research.
You're not an expert, but you know how to get high as fuck, don't you?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of pot, to be honest with you. I don't smoke it. I have before, and every time I have, it was never a pleasurable experience. Now, I could have got like a strain that just didn't work for me, kind of thing. But I had an edible one time, and I got to tell you, I was high for 3 days.
Those will wreck your world, man.
3 days.
You do
and you
the
think I'm
wrong kind of
exaggerating? I'm not.
The gummy ones, they're killer. I took so many one time, I felt like I was melting into the couch.
When I lived in
never
Colorado, they had this thing called the Colorado Cannabis Tier, and it's a capsule. It's like it looks like a vitamin E capsule, and you take it, and like 24 hours later, you don't really like recall exactly how you got to that point in time.
See, I had no problem with memory. Okay, this is all it did. And by the way, somebody breathing really heavy.
Don't remember. I'm just you don't recall. It's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, it's like 900 milligrams pure THC. It's nasty.
You sure that was a marijuana pill?
Oh yeah.
See here, all it did to me is okay. I remember everything happening. It was just I didn't like the feeling. It was just being high, and then they're like, "Oh, it'll wear off." It'll wear off. The next day, still high. I mean, it didn't even go like diminish. I don't know how I even fell asleep. I'm like, I woke up stoned.
Has anyone ever smoked the K2 before?
Max, your mic is just so much background noise. I can't take it. I love you, man, but that mic is just driving me crazy right now. Sorry.
Berserk Legion.
Yeah, we're gonna get sniped.
Steve.
That's okay. It's early in the hangout, so we get
Does it work better if I unplug the headset?
It seems so.
Cool.
Steve, my back of the napkin calculations put my my little electric skateboard project going like 30, maybe 35 miles an hour. But I saw a guy on YouTube with the same basic setup, and he goes 40. He passes cars on the street.
I'm sorry, what happened?
Remember the project I told you I'm working on?
Yes.
The electric skateboard, right? Yeah. Well, I was trying to be conservative. And my last estimation was I was gonna, I'd be happy with 30, but I just saw a guy on YouTube with the same basic setup that I'm building, and his goes 40.
Oh man, so it's 10 miles more.
No, and I think that's I don't under. I'm gonna be. That's probably what I'm saying is. My calculations are probably wrong. I can get it at least. There's no reason that because I'm buying very similar, if not the same parts that he's putting together, if not better parts.
Yeah, sure. You should get 10 more miles an hour based on your calculations.
Yeah.
Oh man, I removed the wrong person. I meant to. That guy came in and left, and I was trying to remove him. It said unknown. That unknown happened to have been Max. Oops.
You killed Max. You bastard.
Yes, I sniped Max. Shit. I was completely unintentional. Max, if you're listening, he's on my Facebook. He can't get back in because he's on a phone. I'm so sorry, dude. I saw somebody come in. I removed them. I sniped them. Can I get him back in if I add him again? Oh, let me try adding him back in. Let me try to see if I can do this real quick. Max. Max, I just re-added you, so try now. We'll see if that works. I don't remember if it's. Do you guys remember if you remove somebody, can they get back in if you re-add them?
I don't see why they couldn't.
I don't remember if you could or not. You're supposed to be able to, but Google and fucking Hangouts.
Sabella says once you're kicked, you can't rejoin. Yeah, my fault. I'm not. If you guys look in the outside chat, it really did say unknown, and I thought it was that. You guys saw that guy pop in and out real quick. I know the outside chat didn't see him because they didn't show him, and so what happened was I saw a guy come in, and I went to go to remove him, and when it was just said unknown, and that happened to be because Max was on an Android and it didn't say his name. So Sorry about that, Max. I really didn't do that on purpose. Now, when I kick Seth out, it'll be on purpose, but not Max. No. Anyway, sorry about that. So where were we about the alcohol, though?
I think we're on weed, actually.
Oh, we're on weed. That's right. See? Oh, so, yeah, so I woke up stoned. And then by the third day, I was just finally like felt it coming back down. But yeah, that was a horrific experience. I don't know how anybody eat one of those edibles.
Well, the thing with edibles is the method of delivery is just like if you don't meter your dose or anything like that, you could really take way more than you're prepared to take.
Well, I mean, for a person like myself, I don't ever smoke pot really. I had a couple hits when I was a kid. I got stoned once when a chick that I lived with gave me a couple joints, and it was miserable back then. I didn't like it either. I had tunnel vision. I called her up going, I'm dying. This is going to kill me. She's like, Steve, you can't die off pot. And I said, I swear to God, I'm going to be the first person to ever die off marijuana. I'm going to make the fucking news right now. She's like, Steve, you can't die off marijuana. I'm like, this sucks. It was a horrible experience. I'll never do it again. So more power to everybody else, right? I go smoke it away, but yeah, not my thing. Now I'll try again maybe one of these days. If, obviously it's gonna be legal coming up, and if somebody gives me a strain they recommend where I don't have that feeling, that I don't know, weird. I don't know. I mean, I explain it, and then I'll try a different strain.
Well, and try a different method of delivery too. Like edibles is it's so like the brownies. I'll give you an example. The brownies are 100 milligrams. At least they were in Colorado. 100 milligrams. Okay, that's a chunk. So like when you buy those, they recommend that you cut them into quarters. Like you're not supposed to eat the whole brownie all at once.
I ate the whole freaking brownie.
But that's kind of the problem. Like, okay, it's a whole brownie. So when you go to the store and you buy a regular brownie, just like a chocolate brownie, the idea is you eat the brownie in one sitting. It's dessert. Uh-huh. So when you get this weed brownie, hey, it's dessert. You can eat the whole brownie. Well, hey, that doesn't work. If you eat the whole brownie and it's a weed brownie and it's a high potency weed brownie, then you're going to get pretty fucked up. You're not going to have an enjoyable experience. It's going to be too much.
Just move on to cocaine.
But if you eat a quarter of it,
just go straight to coke.
If you eat a quarter of it and you meter it over a couple days or a couple of like a 6-hour period, and then take another quarter, and then a 6-hour period and take another quarter, you could have a really enjoyable time.
There's actually a really funny story of a guy, I forget where he's from, but I think this happened last year, but he had come downstairs to get something to drink in the middle of the night, and there was a cake on the counter, and he started eating it and had quite a bit of it, and all of a sudden felt like he was dying. Like he called 911. You can actually, I forget what you search for, but you can go online and listen to his conversation with the 911 operator. But what it was is his daughter had baked a weed cake and left half of it, and he had eaten like 8 times what you're supposed to. And he had never, smoked marijuana before and had no idea what was happening to him.
Yeah, that'd be a shock. Because if I didn't know that what I was eating, and I had no idea the potency, but had I no idea, I would have been like, what the hell is going on with me? Yeah, I would have never figured it out.
Well, that's why I asked if anybody smoked that K2 before, because I had that once, and that's
just so nasty.
Is that like crocodile?
No, this is it's synthetic marijuana, but it's a whole different animal.
It's legal for a while there. I don't know if it still is, but it was legal to sell in like convenience stores and so on and so forth.
Yeah, they're outlawing the strains because each time they outlaw a strain, the companies go back and alter, whatever they're spraying it with. So it's like a back and forth battle between trying to keep it outlawed and them having different strains. But yeah, they sell them in convenience stores and like head shops.
Never even Yeah, I never heard it before.
It's awful. It's awful.
Well, I'm sure
It
crocodiles
is.
too. Do you guys know what that is? Ever heard of that, Dave?
What?
Crocodile or crocodile or whatever the hell it's called.
It's that shit made with rat
No,
poison that eats your
Yeah,
skin.
exactly.
Oh, well, I tend to avoid poisons as much as I can.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Who's seeking out a drug that has rat poison in it?
Dude, I guess the high is like no other, but I mean, it eats your freaking flesh.
That's what I'm saying. Have you seen the
Oh,
pictures?
you're talking about that shit?
Yes.
I've
Yes!
seen that shit. I've seen the pictures. I just didn't recall that it had what it was called or it had rat poison in it. But yeah,
Yeah, it's made with
seen
rat
those
poison.
Crocodile
pictures.
or crocodile.
It's made with rat poison.
Yeah, it's called the zombie drug, basically.
Yeah, that's what that guy that ate that woman's face on the highway was on.
Yes. I don't know how high you think you need to get to try to take something like that and eat some chick's face. I mean, that's a special kind of high.
Well,
I don't want to bring in the New Year's like that.
That's what happens when you shoot up rat poison.
Very weird, man. Yeah, no, I'll stick with my Smirnoff Ice. And you know what? This is actually really tasty. I might be able to actually finish this. This is really good, I gotta admit. It's very light alcohol, so it's not like it's that much. So I guess we've had 2017 go by. I know there's a couple things that Seth wanted to talk about with Trump, right, Seth? And there was something. Oh, cooking. Oh, we're going to be talking about cooking a little bit tonight. Don't know why. We're just going to be talking a little about cooking. So why not, right?
See, if you don't like the political column on the GDC, do you? I feel
okay.
I feel some tension when you bring it up.
Okay, here's the thing. All right, look. Seth and I have had numerous political discussions in here before. In fact, Seth and I were supposed to go to a Trump rally at one time. Not saying that he was
my God.
Trump. Neither was I. There's a story behind this, so don't jump to conclusions. Seth could explain it in a second here.
Too late.
Yeah, Stephen Trump going to pro-Trump rally, make America great again, right, Seth? But when it comes to the political section of the GDC, it's such a thing where you mix theology with politics, right? I mean, one's volatile enough. To have both is just a mixture of disaster. However, I will admit, the mods have gotten really on top of it. I think the Holy Spackle has doing an awesome job. I think that it could be feasible.
It's so necessary. It's so necessary.
You like it? I mean, do you think it's okay?
Absolutely. I think
okay.
I think the two most interesting things to talk about are politics and religion, and I don't think that you can, in every case, exclude the two from one another. They kind of go hand in hand. So I think it only makes sense to have that channel.
I think Seth, are you on the same page on that?
On what? Sorry, I missed the last part.
Okay, we're going to repeat from where we started again. Happy New Year, guys. Okay. We were saying about the first that we were going to go to a Trump rally together. Explain that one.
Right, I heard that.
Yeah, and then do you think that we should have the political section? Cause politics and religion are intricately intertwined.
What do you mean intertwined? Like they're.
Well, Kyle just said. Go ahead, Kyle. Give me your argument.
I don't think that. I think that you have to have that option, on the channel as a section, because in not every case the two aren't mutually exclusive. You know what I'm saying? Religion plays a huge part in politics and vice versa.
They're inextricably linked through history too.
Absolutely. So I think it's vital that you have that section actually.
Well, I mean, I think it could go either way. I think there's arguments to be had either way, but obviously we are going to keep it for a while longer. We'll see what happens. So. As long as it doesn't turn into like a meme section, right? I really hate orphan memes. People just post something and oh, here's a meme. Look at no, that's not the post. That we don't want to turn into a one of these other shit types of community where people just go and post a bunch of crap and never talk about it. I mean, if people want to say, hey, Trump has this policy, let's talk about that. That's what it's for, kind of stuff.
It's kind of unthinkable that Trump is the president and you don't want a political section. I mean, that's just it writes itself every day.
their political things get pretty messy pretty quickly. I mean,
Yeah,
And that's also
go ahead, Dave.
it's also why there's a preponderance of Trump memes in the what's the current section, the
Social commentary.
social commentary. Yeah,
which is a great,
I love that.
great sidestep from calling it the political channel.
Yeah, thank you. Somebody said it was like,
come on now, come on now. Can't we call it what it is?
someone said it sounds like a Facebook group.
It's
Oh God, you want me to change the name to a political thing? It's like,
yes, absolutely. It needs to. I mean, call it what it is.
Another poll. Make it quick. I want to have all the polls out of the way by the new year.
Social commentary is
that was great.
is the same logic that is applied to when you call the garbage man an environmental specialist. I mean, everybody knows what the channel is. There's no sense in trying to to dress it up so that it makes you feel better, Steve.
I just left a message for somebody today that had posted something, and I was like, "Yeah, well, we have a president who doesn't know the difference between weather and climate," because he posted something on his Twitter basically saying, "Hey, the East Coast can, they could use some global warming right now because it's obviously very, very cold back there," and people were just like, "Do you not understand the difference between weather and climate?" No, you don't. What the hell are you doing in a position of power? It's scary. It's scary.
That is frightening.
Okay, so let's ask the people in here. Do you think we should call it what it is? Put it as politics, or politics/social. How about that? Well, it has to be other than social. People think it's like a lounge, which I did add. What do you want? What do you think it should be called? Politics/what, or politics what, or just politics?
I just think I think when people see social commentary, you wouldn't think politics. So why would you check into that? If it says politics and you have people who actually have opinions and something meaningful to say, I think that will kind of steer that crowd that way.
Seth?
and you might.
Oh, Dave, go ahead.
Dave, go ahead. So you might want to qualify that as like You might want to qualify that as like world politics to avoid like internet politics and YouTube politics, for example.
Nah, I think people would know it's politics. I don't know. Can I change the names? I don't know how that works. I haven't even tried here. Let me see. Let me see here. Edit. Social commentary. Yeah, I guess I can. So before I do this, let's get some input here. Dave, you think call it politics?
Yeah.
Call what it is. Okay, Seth.
Politics, yeah, works for me.
All right, I was gonna say you abstain. All right, so the only people that showed up for this bash tonight, which by the way, it's really late, so we don't get many people watching. What do you guys think in the live chat?
Max.
I know. I saw what he just wrote. Max, I'm so sorry. I was telling people I feel so bad. I can't restart the Hangout though, but I felt bad about that. I was trying to remove somebody else, but they had already left, so I couldn't eject them. I had to go do it by the sniping method. So Gob says politics. All right, whatever. Let's just do it. Right, do it. All right. So we officially have a politics section. May Lord have mercy on our souls.
I know how long you wanted to avoid that too.
No, well, I guess you do because you just said you did. Yeah, it is something I really did want to have to avoid. But it is what it is. So let's just go from there. Let the shit posting begin.
Only benefit the conversation.
Let's see. Did everything transfer over? Yep, sure did. All right, works for me. All right, so did you want to explain the whole Trump rally thing, Seth? So people didn't think we were like going, "Hey, go Trump."
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of there's a couple of different reasons. So I mean, there's I was from what I was seeing on the news. I watched his rallies. It was really clear that the Trump rallies were as bad as they were, but everyone was telling me that that the media was making it look worse than it was, and I couldn't imagine that was the case. So one of the reasons I wanted to go to see it for myself, number one. Number two, I also wanted to see what would happen if I did some kind of peaceful, non-violent protest while I was there. If I would, if someone would threaten to kick my ass. It's another thing that I saw was a trope that kept happening at Trump rallies is people who seemingly, at least very seemingly, did not do anything violent, but called some attention to themselves and basically had some kind of criticism for Trump and his policies, was not only kicked out, but also encouraged to be punched at or dragged out or hurt. And I wanted to see if that was also the case. But by the time the Trump rallies got to California, where me and Steve are, people in California protesting the Trump rallies became so violent that I thought it was a bad idea to
go. Hey, I got to go. 3 minutes, real quick. I'll be right back.
So you did not go to a Trump rally?
That's right. We did. I thought better of it. I did not want to go to get beat up by my own side. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, and if you look at the way Antifa has come out of the woodwork, so to speak, since Trump's election, it kind of makes sense.
What do you mean?
Well, like after Trump's election and at Berkeley and so on and so forth,
I'm not convinced that the incidents with Antifa weren't instigated by alt-right fanatics. Just about every case that I've actually looked into and seen seems to be that it was actually instigated by people on the right. But let's assume that that's not the case. If it's not the case, then what Antifa is doing is kind of terrible. What Antifa is doing, regardless, is kind of.
Oh yeah, I agree.
If you look at history, anti-fascist movements, though their intentions I think are good, generally only facilitate a crackdown on free speech.
Absolutely, their intentions are good, but their methods are bad.
They're abhorrent.
Yeah.
They're not just bad; they're abhorrent.
Yeah, and historically, like if you look what happens historically, the reaction to Antifa has been sympathy for fascists, and that's not good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a messy situation. I mean, it's kind of hard to, in some cases, it's hard to tell the two apart when it gets crazy.
I'm sorry about that. My apologies. Our psycho roommate was around the corner, and the sheriffs are talking to him right now.
He's back.
Oh, he was back earlier today. Oh yeah. We have a whole storyline on this. It's epic.
Next Sunday.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I could. Is it next? Yeah, it's next Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't even like if I was like a writer to a soap opera, I couldn't even write as well as this guy has totally in his mind fabricated this thing where he still lives here, that he has his make-believe judge that has been in his pocket that has told him everything's okay, and it's really weird. And he's been writing to the judge, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be reading these letters on air at some point.
We're going to see you on Dateline, Steve.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a stabbing victim from this guy, but he had written these letters and he sent them ex parte to the courthouse to just the judge, not any name, the judge. And they came back. All of them have come back. There's been like 7 or have come back. And it just says the cover letter saying this is inappropriate. This is ex parte communication. Judges are not allowed to, receive any kind of correspondence from family members or anybody involved in court cases, anything like that. But he didn't get any of these back because they came to here. So we have all of it. And it is just
brilliant,
awesome stuff in there. You guys are going to really enjoy it. Now, talk about crazy. Hey, I want to say Richard real quick. Hey, Richard.
Talk about crazy. Hey.
Happy New Year.
What is that on your face?
That's his nose, dude.
Yeah, nose.
No, there's like dirt on the bottom of his face.
Yeah, you trying to be more manly or what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's just what zoologists refer to as fur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, unless you're true empiricism, True has said that hair and fur are not the same thing, and we know he's always right. So let's just go with that.
Why did he say that?
Because he doesn't know that fur and hair are the same thing.
Yeah, but what was like the argument that he was trying to rebut?
If I had to,
Intelligence because it was because of intelligent design, ATP synthase, and bacterial flagellum. That was.
If I had to guess,
I have no idea.
it would have to be about humans not being animals.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, I found out what the deal with his fascination with ATP synthase is, because it tastes like the mayonnaise in his mayonnaise sandwich.
Yeah, that's why it's called ATP mayonnaise.
There you go.
Yeah, Joe Sansi
mayonnaise.
came up with that actually. ATP synthase, ATP mayonnaise, because it just was a bunch of jarbled, gumbled, nonsensical stuff you threw together. But anyway, Richard, good to see you.
Yeah,
I like the beard. I think you should keep it. I really do.
I'm planning to grow it out throughout all of
Yes.
2018.
Yes, yes, me too. Yes, I love that. Seth, you too? You gonna grow yours?
I'm always growing mine. Well, I just trimmed it like a week ago, but yeah.
Yeah, you use the high end stuff. You got this little you oil yours and stuff, don't you?
Well, you have to, otherwise you look
Yeah.
like a homeless man.
Yeah, once it gets long once it gets to a certain length, if you don't like put a little bit of oil in it after you shower, it just gets frizzy and matted and homeless looking.
Yeah, I don't think I haven't tried really any kind of oil or anything. I mean, I have product and stuff, but
You ever like an old-fashioned barbershop?
I need to go to one.
So they have
I need a
this
trim.
like my old, when I was a kid, barbershop had like this little cardboard like little thing, right, with a bunch of like 99-cent plastic combs on it, and I bought some of those, and I keep one in my pocket for my beard, and every once in a while, you need one of those. You're gonna grow out your beard too, because once in a while, if you're away from home for more than 12 hours, which people often are, you might need a home beard to keep it straight.
Especially after you eat. Gotta clean the soup strainer out.
I had
Yeah,
I had that happen the other day. Chicken noodle soup. Not gonna lie.
I actually didn't think
Chicken
about that
noodle soup
before starting to grow it, that I would have to like adjust how I eat and think about it while I'm eating. I didn't think about that.
Yep.
Yeah, the two.
It's no joke too.
To eat when you have a beard is like soup, cereal, and like ribs. Like terrible.
Mhm. Ribs, yeah.
Yeah, forget about it. I mean, you're just gonna have to go to the bathroom and you're done and wash your face.
Yeah, I had to use a butt ton of this because I had dropped soup in my beard, and I was just kind of like lathering it up. It was chicken noodle. It wouldn't come out. It just stained to this like weird yellow color. Looks like I peed my beard. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. What's worse than that is instead of having the chicken noodle soup, I've actually before had clam chowder, and having white in there being stained, that changed the whole thing. That was just so yeah. 3 people get that joke? Really? Okay, whatever. It's not even a joke.
I got it. It just okay. I didn't want to respond on air.
Hey, whatever. I'm telling you, it was clam chowder. Okay, honestly, it really was. So
I demonetize you, Steve.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it until you said, "Wait, nobody got the joke." Then I was like, "Oh wait."
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, you guys are slow tonight."
I'm not thinking like that unless somebody prompts me to.
Seth is always thinking like that.
Well, that's just because all fans of Moretta Cox think like that.
Oh, you promised me her.
I did find some of my old contacts for her, and I contacted her, but no response. I don't think it's.
Yeah, well, whatever. Nobody knows what we're talking about, but that's okay.
So, are we debating something today?
No, it's New Year's, dude. We're just drinking and
okay.
That's it. Yeah,
cool.
This is my 3rd annual. I think it's my 3rd. I honestly don't remember. Wayne keeps track of it. He's like, you need to have another one tonight because you do it every year. And I was like, yeah, it's New Year's Eve hangout.
So we're all just like a bunch of people alone on New Year's drinking.
This is exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're pathetic.
Yeah, there's 25 people that are pathetic with us. And this is actually more than we had last time, I think, because usually, obviously it's New Year, so you get 12 people, you're ecstatic. 13 people are checking out True right now, having an echo chamber, but whatever.
They're still going.
Yeah, it appears so.
I would.
I don't know. I stopped watching it a long time ago.
I'm at work. Otherwise, I might have gone to some kind of party or something. But I'm at work, so I'm stuck with you guys for tonight. And I'm just glad to not be celebrating the New Year's with a bunch of Nazis and Krill's server.
Well, don't go to Krillism then.
I like Krillism because there is decent conversation there, especially at the weird hours that I'm up. I just don't like dealing with the Nazis.
Bring them over to don't bring the Nazis over. Bring the other people over. Let's put it this way. I almost used his real name. Some people know it, but whatever. Ocean has set up the Discord server the way he wanted it, and he's done an amazing job. So, he's going to try to people come over. And one of the conditions, though, is we do not have certain people come over. And two of them, I'll tell you, Dionysus and Iron Nation are not welcome, and nor is any kind of racist or Nazi stuff. We're not going to have any of that in the GDC Discord.
What is with this rise of Nazis all of a sudden? Anyway,
alt-right, I guess. I don't know. It does seem to be making a comeback, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's getting worse.
It's a reaction to progressive. I think it's a reaction to the Overton window being shifted over to the left over the last presidency.
Yeah, I think it's just part of the culture war. I don't know. I think it'll go away.
I hope so.
Well, Nazism has been around for a while. It's invoked all the time. Tommy Hall invoked it in that hangout just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, but it's not as blatant like it is now. It's in your face now. You know what I mean? It's a lot more prevalent.
Yeah,
I wish Pew was in here now because
look, there are violent people on both sides. Okay, and there are good people on both sides.
No, not true.
No.
Trump said that.
Oh
yeah.
no,
I know Trump said that. Yeah.
Sentiments of our president. That's all.
Yeah, no, I recognize the quote. Okay. First of all, by the way, Max, you have the link. You can create another account, a soccer account, maybe, or if you have another. Actually, I think you might need another G+ account, but you can try to come in on that. But yeah, Trump, when he said that, I was like, "What?"
I thought we didn't do politics in here.
Richard, where the hell have you been?
Yeah,
what just missed?
Get up to freaking date, dude.
Oh,
you missed that conversation.
Yeah, you missed that conversation.
Why don't you go impersonate General Han Solo and come in here?
Yeah, with a really bad accent because you're not Australian.
Actually, he does General pretty good. I'll give him that.
Yeah, General thought so too. I'm already slurring my speech. That's supposed to come out as General. He done General good. What's that, Kyle?
Too many Smirnoffs.
Smirnoffs.
Yes, it's Smirnoff. You know what? Actually, I'm looking at this. I thought it was 3%. It's actually 6%. It's 5.8.
Oh.
Yeah. No wonder.
Watch out now.
It's really good.
Brand the law. Get your butt in here.
Yeah, Brand, get in here, man.
You and the Geek Room both.
Well, the Frankie's actually doing quality time with his wife tonight, so Brand's lonely and has nobody to really give a shit about, so he can come in. I'm kidding, Brand. Yeah, we do need some women in here, that's for sure.
We got you. You're sort of a woman.
Sabella could come in here.
Sabella needs to get a mic. It's what Sabella needs to get. Yeah, she says she will get a mic in 2018, and so
Max is back.
Yeah, I told him how to do it. Yay! Told you.
Oh my gosh, I did it! I just copied the link you sent me and pasted it into the new chat I created on this account, and it worked there for some reason, and not on Facebook.
Yeah, I told you that would work. Yeah.
Woo! You like my new profile picture? It's a picture of the eclipse I took.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I don't actually recognize any of you except Steve because I think you all changed your icons.
Oh, we gotta go through
look
this
like
again.
Jennifer Lopez from the South.
Before I was
You're what?
kicked, before I was kicked, I was a blue and black Carnotaurus.
Okay.
With feathers.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through this again. First of all, Sabella's saying Tommy's pretending not to be racist in the live, in the other hangout over there. Ronnie's so cute, still trying to do hangouts. It's adorable. Okay, so you don't know Seth because that's been around for a long while.
I'm sure I do.
Okay, you don't.
Oh yeah,
know
yeah,
Kyle.
no, Seth. I know Seth.
Kyle is he's going to be doing a podcast with me called the Non Sequitur Show, premiering on January 17th. Which is, I believe, a Wednesday.
If you're doing a podcast, you should really call it like the Great Debate Community Podcast or something. It's part of your brand.
No, it is the Great Debate Community presents the Non Sequitur Show. It is presented by the Great Debate Community, but is a separate thing entirely.
I guess that makes sense.
Does not follow.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Somebody freaking gets it. It does not follow. Very good.
Yes. Excellent.
Kyle, he gets it. This is good. This is good. I like this.
I said that.
Yeah, I know. Max, but it's like you got it. You get it. It's yes, that's exactly what the whole theme of the thing is. It just doesn't follow.
It does not follow.
Yes.
It's gonna be great.
Hence, non sequitur.
Now we are keeping the other channel, Richard, for the GDC channel. We are going to have guests on there. I can tell you one guest we're having on there. Would you like to know whom?
Yes, tell me.
Okay,
Who?
I'm going to play a little game here because we still got to do our cooking game. I want to ask Kyle some cooking questions coming up. But all right, so here's the game we're going to play. Here's the guest that we have coming on. It'll be in the end of January. Okay, he's a theist, and his initials are FT. Can you think off that?
I'll give you another hint. He had an epic debate with Christopher Hitchens.
Yes,
Frank,
and with
Frank Turk. You have Frank Turk on?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know who that is.
He has a blog. I think it's crossexamine.org. Is that his?
Yeah, Frank
yes.
Turk's pretty big.
Right, it's Turek, isn't it?
Hey guys, funny or cool story.
Turek.
Cool story.
Yeah, Frank Keurig. He's a coffee maker.
Yeah.
No, Turek, isn't it Turek?
Turek, yeah. Turek.
Okay.
I heard Turk, and I was like, wait, Frank
Turk.
Turek.
Turks.
Go ahead, Richard. What are you trying to say?
Oh, never mind. I shouldn't say it.
Well, you might be in that hangout with us though, so keep that date open. It'll be January 28th, I believe, so far.
28th. Okay.
Yeah, the confirmation date, and I don't know the time because the secretary haven't given us. But
wait a minute, what was Richard going to say? Come on, Richard.
Say it, Richard. Do it, dude. It's new. Get it out of the way now, man. Get it out of the way now before you get too drunk.
You can't do that, Richard. Come on.
Don't be a tease, man.
Okay, it's not a big deal. I was just gonna say, when I was 18 or so, I wasn't a Christian, and Frank Turret's book was the book that converted me.
Oh, so we have him to blame. Okay.
Yes.
Sweet.
That's
so
cool.
would you like to talk to him?
I mean, I've met him before, but yeah, that'd be cool.
I think you should, for sure.
Well, I can tell you some of the other names we're going to have in there because it's not just going to be like theist. Wayne is hosting it. But so far we've got Skylar Fiction, and we have Holy Kool-Aid. And I've asked Alex, Cosmic Skeptic, to drop by. However, we don't know if that's possible yet. But
I think it's hilarious that we have all these. I think it's hilarious that we have all these pseudonyms. It's like their AIM screen names. Like, oh yeah, Holy Kool-Aid will be here. Like, oh really? Holy Kool-Aid?
Yeah. Well, okay. I only use people's first names if it's out there. Like his first name is Thomas, which is not really his real name.
I agree. That's weird to me, or that's foreign to me too.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, like in this little community, but to outsiders, it's weird.
What's wrong with having pseudonyms, especially like a YouTube channel stuff? Well, that.
Yeah, like if you think about it, like nobody really knows Cool Hard Logic's real name, I don't think. So we refer to him as that.
Yeah,
Cool Hard Logic.
What do we call?
I mean, most of us use our real name, but we're not really not of any importance, right? So nobody cares if we know our real name.
Yeah, nobody knows who I am. My name matches with some weird soccer players.
What's funny is when they threaten to dox you.
Yeah,
I'm going to dox you, Steve. Hello? What?
Ooh.
Really? Okay.
Just type your name in Google.
Yeah, I'm all over the place nowadays.
Yeah, dox me.
Confederate.
Take my substantial money and
Just whatever you do, don't search for me on Pornhub. Just don't do that.
I'm doing it right now.
From what I understand, one of the I won't say who, I'll try to keep this kind of somewhat anonymous.
Good.
Don't understand, but somebody.
Okay.
Somebody's typing hard. I can't even hear Seth. Holy crap! Somebody's like, "Steve's got porn." Oh, it's like
In the
Yeah,
Krill
Richard-
server, somebody
Richard.
took a recording of one of
no, it's actually Max.
the better argued, better read atheists in there and sent
Steve, I don't
the
see you
video
on here.
and sent the video to his work.
Oh, nice.
Oh shit!
Yeah, something about and something about he was giving some he was asking for somebody's defense for something that would sound deplorable, right? I don't even know if it was his actual position, but he was talking about something about like are you what's wrong with necrophilia or something, trying to get somebody to explain their position against something that we generally find is deplorable, but trying to get somebody to defend it. So it sounds as if
People are
Right.
crazy.
Like why?
would
Why?
do that.
Sounds like something that
Oh my God,
freaking
loud.
guy. Sorry, I'm loud.
I'll fix it.
Huh.
Don't worry.
I would do that. I would defend something I don't believe just for fun.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Wait, well,
Makes
why
people
did
crazy.
he turn me down? Can you guys
You're
hear me
allowed
now?
too. Yeah, I'm just equalizing. Trust me.
So
I know
yeah,
what I'm doing.
I would defend
Not
things.
my first rodeo, buddy.
I would defend things like necrophilia just for fun, but I would need some time to research it. Just
So you start getting louder as I.
Yeah.
You have
I would-
45 minutes. You have 45 minutes.
I would need some time to think about it and to research it, to think of some good arguments. Basically,
45 minutes. 45
Richard-
minutes.
I would just
Okay,
be like-
gotcha.
I would just be like,
Richard-
it's like eating steak but raw and a person.
Yeah. By the way, Richard, you're equalized, man. You just talk at a normal level. I'll take your.
it's
I'll-
like eating steak, except with less guilt.
It tastes like chicken. So no, Max, I'm really
Damn
not on
dirty apes.
Pornhub. However,
like where this
I did
is
have a
going.
roommate that's on there, and I could tell you the name of her video. She actually starred in she had the cover of the video, the cover of the series, but she was hot.
I only got Overwatch fan porn
Steve,
when I
you have,
searched your name.
you have a girl roommate?
No, back in the day when I actually got chicks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah.
You got chicks. You're gross.
Yeah, believe it or not, dude. I mean, I have a kid, and I think it requires a female for that. From the last time I took biology. Now, I tell you what, I'm not sure. What I'll do is I'll do this. Jungle Jargon right now is live in the live chat of True Pearsons. I will go over there and ask Jungle Jargon how to make a baby.
It's gonna be a load of
Can we
jargon.
put that on? Can we put that? Can we stream that?
Jungle Jargon,
Can
how
we
do you make a
screen
baby?
share that?
Hey, Jim, get in here, Jim. Jim's in the live
All right,
chat.
guys.
Get in here, Jim.
You got 8 minutes till I yell Happy New Year for no reason. Nobody but the dogs are gonna hear me.
Okay. Yeah, we need to get Jim in here. He's drunk.
Whoever has Eastern time, please yell Happy New Year at the same time as I do.
Okay. Oh, by the way, just FYI, the dump fuck of the year is over. And should we
Who won?
announce? Well, I have the sheet here. So should I just say it? Does anybody care?
I don't care.
I mean, I don't want to announce it, but I mean, it's just like it's over. So I mean, anybody can go look.
Who won?
I'll give you a hint. It starts with a V and ends with an H. Well, it's two
Hilton.
words. Yeah.
Von Hilton.
Yeah, 33,000 freaking votes. Wow. People really want him to win. And he hasn't even done much this year. I don't get it.
Was he in more than that one hangout that I was in?
I don't think, yeah, I doubt it. He hasn't really done much, dude.
Yeah, I was in that hangout with you, Richard. So that's kind of like puts in
You
context when we met. Yeah, I was. That's when I actually. That's the one. That's the one context. That's the one time I actually talked to Von Helton myself
Oh,
with the Geek Room. So
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, because I had arranged that whole thing with them in the Geek Room in Von Helton.
Damn, I'm sick.
I
Which,
don't-
by the way, I don't regret it all.
I felt bad in that
I don't
hangout. I felt bad in that hangout because he kept turning to me, going like, "Richard, you support me, right?" I don't know why he was doing that.
you were just the moderator.
Von Helton?
Yeah, I don't know. He was just like looking for someone on his side, and he kept turning to me.
Ooh,
Van
Von
Helton.
Helton.
really?
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
Richard, you seem like a nice guy. Don't you think they're beating up on me?
Oh,
Yeah.
Von Helton has
So-
done so much to himself. It's
He
ridiculous.
was like trying to guilt me into coming onto his side.
I mean, okay. Obviously, I think he's not a great person. Let's put it real. Okay. I mean, he's a terrible to his kids. He's just mentally deranged. I personally, though, have never really had a beef with him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's why I was able to arrange the sit down discussion that he had with the Geek Room. I think that went very well, actually. So, you know,
Well, my main thing was like people interrogating him about his life, but then they like saying, "Hey, man, you treat your kids this way. That's bad." And it's like, well, that's kind of not really our business. But then what I was told was that he's kind of the one that puts that stuff out there, so it's fair game.
Yeah, but it's true though. I mean, if you go look at Encyclopedia Dramatica, that stuff is all legit. So he is Karate Kyle. You know that, right?
He's what?
Go look up the meme Karate Kyle.
Karate Kyle. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, his life is the inspiration for the Punisher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that meme with the Karate Kyle, the kid with the glasses.
What? Hold on, what? Does Von Helton believe that?
Yes.
He believes.
They cracked my glasses. I cracked their spines. These are funny.
That literally is a picture of Von Helton when he was a kid.
Wait. No, it is.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That's really him?
That's really him. Karate Kyle. That meme, it really is Von Helton.
That's.
Shut the
I want to see.
Just look up Karate Kyle.
I want to see.
I'm going to go look it up.
Just look it up.
Yeah, just look it up, people.
Okay. Furious typing here in 3, 2, 1.
We have something called Google. Welcome to 2018. You know?
Oh,
We're
it is
actually
him.
moving-
Yes,
Yes, it is him. That's him as a young kid.
I was a kid.
That's Von Helton. I never knew that this meme would eventually win Dumb Fuck of the Year.
It was a coordinated effort, I guess. But like I say, he didn't do much this year. Some kind of little.
They stole my
whatever.
backpack, so I stole their lives.
Yeah.
God, Dexter.
Congratulations, Vaughn. So now these are unofficial results, obviously. I mean, the official results have to be tabulated in reds, but unofficially, it looks like that. So
This has obviously been way meme to hell. Like somebody's been busy.
oh, this has been vote botted to death.
Yeah.
No vote. Yeah, no. There's going to be changes next year, and I think they're really, really good changes. I like the way Reds is going to implement it, but of course I'm gonna let him tell you all those things. But yeah, I like the direction he's going on it. It's really, really good. So
Yeah, he took some good suggestions. I heard that hangout. So
yeah, he's already talked about some of them. So yeah. So you want to jump in this Q&A here? I'm just kind of I really want to quiz Kyle on some cooking stuff. We've been talking a lot about cooking because I've been binge watching Top Chef, and Kyle happens to know how to cook. He's actually was an executive chef, which is like the best chef you can get in a restaurant. So he kind of does know a little bit about his art, his craft. So I was gonna kind of like ask him some questions because we are gonna have a show on cooking. What's the name of chef we bringing in?
Stefan Jenkins.
People may know that I'm not familiar with it, but I will do my research. What's it gonna do?
It's the show. The show's going to be mainly on the psychology of food, as far as plating and aesthetics, and how that plays a part in
Cooking with Ermac.
With what?
Huh? Oh, sorry, I'm going a little crazy. I was talking to myself. I said cooking with Ermac.
So you're basically going to be talking about how presentation affects appetite?
Yeah, and what goes on in terms of the senses, because it springs off of a study that they did where they took 3 food items. They were the same for both plates, and they arranged it differently and in different like sort of texture wise, how it looks on the plate. And they would send it out and have people try both plates. Now, remember, they're the same exact dish, just plated differently. And it was almost unanimous that one dish was better than the other, and then they asked for a value that they would put on that particular dish, and the price difference was between $3.50 and $4 per plate, but it's the same amount of food, the same dish prepared the same way. So their mind has tricked them somehow based on how it looks that one is better than the other, when in fact they're identical.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just got done watching season, I think it was season 14 of Top Chef, and I went back to 13, or it was a 15 or 14. I don't remember. But in one of the episodes, they took a bunch of junk food. It was all junk food. And the whole challenge was...
Hate to
Which
interrupt
you're
you,
doing anyways. What?
I am. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
We got it that time. That was better than the first time.
Well, we're on the East Coast.
Oh, we tried this initially and it just sucked. It just didn't work. People are not coordinated in this community.
Happy New Year!
I'm surprised half of you guys could chew
You're
gum
right.
and walk simultaneously. Yeah.
Hey, guys.
You can hear idiots honking their horns and blowing off their fireworks in my neighborhood now.
Hey, Steve, so I'm looking at the Great Debate Community YouTube channel, and man, you guys are lost without me. You guys barely do any videos, and they all have like 100 views.
I haven't really had anybody go over and really kind of... We're going to be doing that next year. So
That's because I haven't been here. I'm like the class clown.
2019.
Well, you have to pick a topic and then, go back and start running them again. But let me finish what I was saying. So anyways, they're doing this plating, right? Because as Kyle was saying, plating is a huge portion of how you present food. I mean, it's an art, and visually appealing food psychologically tastes better to people on the average. You can charge $2 to $3 a plate easily on a lot of different things just because the plating's better. And this was all just junk food. And then they took pictures and on Instagram and voted to see which one was the best. But people didn't even realize that the original person that started all that, they didn't even know it was junk food. It looked so good. They didn't realize it was like Milky Way bars and Tootsie Rolls. It just looked like it was actual, real food. And it was just all about the plating. It was really brilliant. I got to admit, it was art.
It's amazing how much you can add to the cost of a plate just because of that too. Because like I worked at Disney, and because I worked at Disney, I actually got the opportunity to do things that cost people oodles of money. And one of those things is there's a restaurant in the Grand Floridian called Victoria and Albert's. And I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but this place is literally like a 5-star restaurant. Like you sit there for 2 hours and eat a 7-course meal served to you 1 course at a time. And they clear your table and they brush it off, and you're eating off of goldware, not silverware, and everything. It's just like it's the nines, literally. Like you come in and you're dressed up, and there's harp music playing the whole time. It's crazy, but the amount of food you get really isn't much more than you would get going to Denny's, to be honest with you.
But I'm sure the quality is much better. I'd hope
the quality is better, but it's not horribly hard to prepare, but they do a lot of query up front, like if you have allergies and so on and so forth, and each plate is specific to the individual and so on and so forth. And then they have after dinner coffee and stuff like that. So it's really the presentation. You do not go away hungry. You do not go away stuffed. It's literally one of the best meals I've ever eaten.
Yeah, I'm used to the most exquisite meal I ever had was basically going to be a 3-course meal that consisted of a Grand Slam toast and coffee. That was about it. So yeah, I like good food, but I just obviously never really had that kind of awesome meal. But I saw, did Brian drop in here? Look at this. Brian!
Hey, what's up? I'm here.
You turn off your camera.
Yeah, I'll turn it back on. Here we go.
Should this guy be in movies? Seriously, look at this guy.
No.
He be in film. I'm telling you, he needs to be in soap operas. He doesn't believe me. He needs to be in soap operas.
Maybe not movies, but maybe Christian
B stuff. Yeah, B-roll stuff. Yeah.
Some B-list stuff.
The Smirnoff is
But
kicking in, isn't it, Steve?
I wish.
I never
would have been able to afford that because, like, I got it for free because of reward for working there. You know what I'm saying? Because they charge like $200 or $300 for the meal.
Brian, I had watched a movie parts of a movie the other day. It's called my roommate, right? One of my roommates. He's gone right now, but he's supposed to be back in a few weeks. He moved out, then moved back again. But he was in a movie that he starred in called Burial of the Rats with Adrienne Barbeau.
Oh yeah, she's 80s, right? Early 80s?
Yeah. And he played Bram Stoker.
Oh.
And it was just so bad, dude. I mean, I'm like, dude, you might be an awesome director because he directed all the Emmanuel series, like Emmanuel in Space and stuff. And he works with.
I used to watch that on Cinemax when I was like,
yeah. He directed all that. He wrote them. He wrote and directed. He worked with Soleil Moon Frye, which was also known as Punky Brewster.
Oh yeah.
But he was starting that movie. It's like, and I was telling him, I was like, dude, don't act, just because he was in like a couple general hospitals and stuff like that. But he wanted me to start a podcast and be the host of one of his podcast projects. And he's working with, I think, Netflix right now or History Channel on some kind of weird project. And I was like, dude, I'm not into any of this stuff. He actually came into one of our hangouts. I talked him into one, and he started talking about conspiracy stuff, and people were digging it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. So people were like listening to this intently. And I told him, I said, okay, Kev, people really enjoyed this. So what I'll do is we'll have another hangout and we will go more in depth about this stuff. But I got to tell you right now, because I know my community, they're going to think you're a freaking just psychopath. I mean, they're just like, just delusional. He's a nice guy. I don't believe 90% of what he believes in, right? Because he's alien conspiracy, CIA, black box.
I bet he thinks we didn't land on the moon. That's a very common.
No, he believes we landed on the moon. But he does believe aliens, demons, that kind of stuff.
I had a roommate too. And he totally told me all the time the moon landing was a hoax. He's like, seriously, he's like, you got to see the documentaries on it. And I was like, oh, you didn't know.
Steve's friend doesn't think the moon landing was a hoax. He just thinks that we used a Stargate to get there.
Yeah.
Is that a friend I worked with?
You think you're kidding on that? What's that?
Is that on the what is it? The edge that they're guarding of the flat Earth? Is that where they Stargate?
No, it's in the basement. No, I'm not kidding. It is.
I actually don't think I'm joking, right? I mean, that's.
Oh no,
you're not.
Like what a lot of conspiracy theorists that think that like the moon landing is real thinks that we think we have a Stargate, and like one in particular I was listening to he claims he met Obama on Mars on his Stargate. Yeah, before Obama was president. Yeah, absolutely.
I had a friend that I worked with at Sonic who just thought the moon landing was fake for two reasons. One, the flag, a common reason. Two, because the moon looked more flat than he thought it should be.
Well, obviously it's flat. Yeah, clearly it's flat because of that. It's a disc.
No, the moon's made of cheese, don't you know?
But Seth, the reason that's funny is because the guy used to tell me, and this is when he's pitching something, and I guess it's either Netflix or History Channel. It's called Undisclosure Project or something like that. I can release the name because I already asked him, and he said fine. But he and a group called the Aviary, which was a group of people with code names that were supposedly in the known giving out disinformation to the public. They were CIA, Air Force, and I know for a fact he knows these guys. I've talked to a couple of them, so I know that they're legit. But he thinks that there's a project where people in their basements have these portals, these like you said, Stargate kind of things that allow demons to come in and out. This is a real thing. This is not. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy is a nice guy. It's not like he's like batshit like my other roommates we've had some crazy ones. I don't believe anything he says on this, but this is real stuff as far as what he believes, because he's actually being a director, he's a casting director or casting person. I mean, he's actually working to make this into a series. So there are people that believe this, man.
It's, to me, I guess the reason I don't freak out, it doesn't seem that far off from people on TV saying they knew someone who was possessed, or, they've seen people be possessed. They've heard people talk in tongues. I'm like, that all is about at the same level as someone saying, yeah, in my basement, I have a Stargate, or someone in their basement has a Stargate. I'm like, okay, that's just absurd.
It's weird, dude.
Yeah.
So before I go on to this cooking stuff, I really want to get to it. I'm sorry. I've been just watching a lot of cooking stuff lately, so I've got that cooking itch. But so have you contacted Kent Hovind yet again?
I did. Well, not again, but I really had a long conversation with him. I had him on the phone, and I was like, okay, good talking with you. And he's like, well, about blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go pick up my girlfriend. And I was like getting in the car, and I was like driving to her, and I was like, I can't be talking to Kent Hovind when I pick up my girlfriend. Like, this is a strong creationist on the phone with me.
He loves his phone. I remember one time we were in a conversation with him, and this was a while ago, long before my even hangouts with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, okay, I'm going through a dead zone. I got to go. Right after a while, and it wasn't really. I was just facilitating the conversation. I mean, he knew me, but if somebody else that was in there. But I was like, does he not realize that these are all digital cell phones any longer? There's no such thing as a dead zone. It just doesn't exist. It's not like you're driving on those brick phones where you hit this dead patch and you get this like, I gotta go. I can't hear you. That's not how it works anymore. He's so far behind the times. True story.
Well, no, I mean, there's like if I drive home, there's like one intersection in my neighborhood where I will just drop all data. I mean, that happens.
Yeah, well, data requires a
cell
stronger
towers,
signal,
maybe. Could it? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I trust you more than I do him, so it's okay. Yeah. Maybe, but yeah. So anyway, so what'd you decide on that? Like I said, I gave you my 2 cents worth.
Oh man, the community was up in arms. I kind of
you pissed people off,
and I got it full force. So I'm thinking about it, and you know, I'm just like, man, if I do that at the university, one of two things is going to happen. One, it's going to be a complete bust. Like no one's going to come, no one's going to care, and then it's like, well, that was good. Or two, it's going to be like huge. I mean, I think it's going to be very polarized in what the possibilities are. And I'm like, do I really want that much attention on me? Do I really want to be known as, because my students already know, for those who don't know, I teach college, I teach mathematics and statistics. And a lot of students already know I'm kind of liberal, atheist. And they all get along with me quite fine because I don't care what they think. And so I don't try to tell them to believe what I believe, but sometimes they'll want to talk about these things, especially the conservative ones. They always want to pick my brain about like, why do you think this? Why did you like Bernie? What do you like about this? Who do you like on the conservative side? And I'll just be very open and honest. And I don't know. My biggest worry is like all this heat that could come down on me from just like.
Or you can become like Bill Ludlow. He's a superstar now.
There you go. There you go.
He has gone skyrocketing. He's gotten so much exposure from this, is unreal. And I'm so happy that he did. He earned it. I was very happy that I was able to do that for him. And he did most of it himself because it was his presentation. But yeah, he did a wonderful job. Now, I understand what you're saying, and I kind of agree with your students in some way that, you know, one of the people in GDC that were telling you no. I mean, do you really want to give them that exposure? Do you really want to like be a part of that? It's not really worth it, but.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like I've watched his whole. I think Logic has done a really good series breaking down just the absurdity of all the spotted moss stuff and everything. Where Hovind really just doesn't know the science. Wait, yeah, that is Hovind, right? I'm getting creationists mixed up because we've been talking creationists all week on GDC. It seems.
Yeah, Logic. I think did something, but I think it was actually Todd Wood that.
I haven't watched his content.
Todd Reed.
Todd Reed. Okay.
Did you say creationist doesn't understand the science?
Yeah. It's just something, you know, axiomatum right there. Just is what it is. Yeah, no, I just and here's the thing, as everyone has pointed out, Hovind, my specialty is I think my understanding of the scientific process.
Tony Reed, sorry.
And p-values and the such, knowing how science works and how we can trust science. But I know Hovind's really going to want to go into like, here's this one biology thing, like Piltdown Man, and I went to a Baptist school, so I know the basics that they use, but he's just going to gish gallop across and just hit them with like 50 things, even though I'm going to try to, if I were to do it, I'd try to pinpoint him on one, which I try to do on GDC, and maybe I just come off as annoying as I type really quickly, so I post a lot.
That's all he does. And by the way, I'm thinking of Tony Reed. Sorry, the Smirnoff is kicking in. I'm going to forget Tony Reed.
I just got
one of the best channels.
I've got bottles of unopened alcohol right here, so, you know.
Yeah, this could be a long night, so forgive us, people. Just, you know, might as well just give us the shit now because we're getting. This Smirnoff is actually affecting me, and I don't drink that much. People think I drink a lot. I don't, by any stretch of imagination. Only rare occurrences, and it doesn't take much to get me buzzed because I just have a very low threshold.
Does anybody in this room like New Belgium Fat Tire Ale? Because that's all we have. And I'm drinking.
I love Fat Tire.
Very, very good beer. Very good beer.
Very good Belgian wheat beer. Yeah, awesome stuff.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you kind of did it.
Drinking shitty because I guess it's okay.
Fat Tire is really good. Have a little bit of orange with it.
Wait, did I just see some Kraken?
I don't think
was that the beer?
I don't have.
That was cracking.
I know Kraken.
I don't think we have oranges, but I'm making spaghetti. Will that do?
Sure. Sure.
If you didn't just see it, I don't know the gentleman's name, but he just showed some Kraken rum, which is really good, dark rum, really good. I'm at my parents' house right now, and so I've only got just a smidgen of liquor, just nothing. But at my place, I've got a lot.
I've got brandy that I didn't like, so I've been using that to make chicken with. And it actually, believe it or not, chicken brandy mixed together really well. I actually really liked the taste. And then I got some corn whiskey left, not much. Again, that corn whiskey's lasted me a long time. I've had a month now and I haven't finished it. That tells you how very little I can drink. All right, so you want to move on past Hoven?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't want to focus the conversation.
All right. So, anyways, the cooking stuff. So we want to quiz Kyle real quick on some very basic cooking stuff, and either he's going to laugh, going, "Oh God, what is this, like kindergarten?" or "Oh shit, it's been so long, I should know this, but I don't." So, Kyle, you ready for this? I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't want to. This is it, man. This is for the brass ring. I'm going to ask you, like,
by all means,
let's do it, baby. All right, he's got balls. You see that? You know, he don't give a shit. He's like, let's do it. All right, so can you name me the 5 other sauces?
Oh, good question.
I know, dude. Okay. Look who you're talking to. You think I was going to ask you some shit question? Come on.
Let's see.
Oh,
bechamel, velouté, hollandaise.
That's 3.
mayonnaise.
Tomato.
Very good. Now you got the hardest one left, though. The one that everybody forgets.
Alfredo.
Espagnole.
Yes. Give it up for Kyle. Awesome. You got 5 out of 5. Wow. I'm really impressed.
That's from a long time ago. And
so
nowadays, unless it's a unless you're really high end in a classically French kitchen, no one calls them anywhere close to those names.
Well, they are the 5 French sauces, right? I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they are the basis for.
If anybody cares, I mean, I wasn't being mean to you. I'm just saying that on the subject of that food preparation psychology stuff, I prefer my food to look messy for some reason. If it looks nice, I'm not impressed.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like it well presented myself. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, to each his own.
Yeah.
Maybe I just grew
All
up
right.
like
that. Okay, let's see here. Okay, next question. Now this is gonna be a sciencey one. I honestly I don't think you're gonna get this one. This is gonna be really hard actually. But first of all, before I ask you the second question, to everybody else, did you guys know the answer to that question? Be honest. You know, this is not,
No.
this is not school.
No.
Okay, good. Would you guys got any of them?
No, not a
I think
chance.
I could have gotten 1, maybe 2.
I might have
I
got
always
holidays. That's about it.
I know holidays. I can make a bechamel. I've actually tried making a bechamel. It's just basically a roux with the cream or milk or something like that. But yeah, the other ones, the brown sauce stuff like that. That's hard to remember. But okay, so what I don't know how to pronounce it. What Espagnole? Espagnole. Okay.
Sounds like it.
Okay. So what is the process called of the browning of bread? So when you have like bread in the oven, it browns. What is that reaction called?
Oh, toasting.
Good answer, but not the
nice
one we're
guess.
looking for.
Nice guess.
That is a great guess.
You're talking about a Maillard reaction.
Yes, a Maillard reaction.
Yeah.
Toasting.
That's super. That's one of the first things you learn when you go.
These are not that difficult, but dude, you've been out of school. I mean, you come on. A lot of people forget these things, right?
But again, it's another fancy word for toasting. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's
caramelization process.
And me, I'm one of those people that I think the over the over fancying of words is ridiculous. I mean, I would much rather call it toasting than Maillarding bread. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean that's the name of the reaction. Yeah.
If someone tells me to go Maillard bread, I'm going to look at them like, "Just what?" You know.
Well, I was going to ask you this other one, but I can't remember it myself, and it had to do with the plating. What is the French word for that type of plating? It's a fancy type of plating, such as an S. Sauvier or something like that. I can't remember it.
I'm not sure.
I want to say Sauvignon, but I know that's wine.
No, it's not Sauvignon.
Yeah.
That's Cabernet.
You're talking about
it has to do with the way a very fancy dish is plated, and it starts with an S.
about Sauvé?
Is it Sauvé?
I mean, I don't know. It's it could be all kind of things. Sauvé is that's where it's temperature controlled. It's like if you take chicken and put it in a vacuum sealed bag and then put that.
No, yeah, that's for the water. Yeah, that's the water when you do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you heat the water, right?
Yeah. But plating.
Yeah, it starts with an S, and it's a French word, and it means to have a perfect presentation of a dish, a very fancy, perfect presentation.
So well, no.
I have people partying over here as well. If you can hear that.
I'm trying to.
Oh,
think.
that's live chat.
Very nice.
It's called when it's French and it's plated perfectly. It's called adding an extra $20 to the dish. That's what it's called.
Oh, that's definitely what is. I can't. I don't know what you're thinking of though.
You know what? I don't remember so much. I can't even look it up. Right? It's one of those things I don't even know how to Google. It's just something in the back of my mind, and if I heard it, I would think it, but I can't remember. Oh well. All right, let's try to move on to something else. Can you name me? Let's see here. Give me the name of 6 different types of French cheeses.
I will fail miserably at this.
Make it 5. I'll make it 5. French cheese is American. No, I don't think American's a French cheese.
Brie.
Okay.
Roquefort.
Munster.
That's probably about as far as I'm going to get.
Camembert. That's not French. Well, that's Normandy.
Camembert.
Camembert. Is that French? I don't remember.
Yeah. It's Camembert.
Camembert.
Yeah.
Is it Fortembert? What is it? Fortembert?
Camembert?
No, Fortembert or something? I don't know.
I don't remember. Okay, it doesn't have to be French. Just give me a fancy name of cheese. It's Camembert.
Wensleydale.
Feta. I like feta. That's Greek, though.
I like my cheese like I like my women. American singles.
No. Goat cheese is the best.
You like Famunda cheese, don't you, there, Seth? I've had goat cheese. I've had goat cheese pizza.
I like Gouda.
Oh, Gouda's really good.
We're forgetting the most blue cheese. That's totally French.
Blue cheese, yes. Blue cheese. Actually, yeah, that's I was thinking blue cheese.
Gross.
What? Do you know how blue? Have you ever watched them make blue cheese? That is an art.
I've had blue cheese. So gross.
Disgusting.
I don't care if it's art.
It's disgusting.
Jarlsberg.
Blue cheese is disgusting. I love blue cheese.
No.
Are you kidding?
It's got mold in it.
It's great. I like mold. Mold is good.
Fecal porn.
I mean,
Hey,
wait. You think? Wait. You think blue cheese is bad? I like gorgonzola because gorgonzola is basically blue cheese made out of goat. No, it's not goat milk. What is it? Oh, no, it's cow's milk. What is goat?
Sheep.
There's something different about gorgonzola that makes it gorgonzola rather than it's a type of blue cheese, but it's a special kind of blue cheese. I don't remember what makes a difference.
I don't think I've had gorgonzola either. But you know what else sucks? Cottage cheese.
The making of goat cheese might be an art, but the making of fecal porn might be an art too. It doesn't make it any better.
To some, I like gorgonzola. I don't remember what makes gorgonzola rather than blue cheese. I don't remember. So anybody remember?
Dick cheese.
A different name.
That's under cheese.
A different name.
Let's try Katsu Maru. I don't think I've ever tried Katsu Maru.
I don't think I have either.
I've never heard of that. Is that what the moon is made out of?
Oh, I do know what Katsu Maru is. Yes, thank you, Eulogy. About it. Yeah, Katsu Mizu is means putrid cheese. It's held at
You mean blue cheese?
With
I'll tell
insect
you
larvae.
the best
No.
cheese,
That's
in my opinion, that I've ever had is Manchego. It's a Spanish cheese made from sheep's milk, and it is delicious.
Yeah, no. Abad eulogy. He's talking about Casimaru. I've seen that before. It's maggot cheese. Now, let me ask you this as a chef. Wow. Who's the first person to ever say, "Hey, I'm going to take this cheese and I'm going to put maggots in it and I'm going to let it get fetid and I'm going to say this is yum and eat it"? That had to be a practical joke.
Some sadistic motherfucker.
How does that
I'm
shit
sure a lot of
happen?
food.
It has
I'm sure a lot of it was made out of
maggots in it.
Well, hold on. I mean, is it really that difficult to imagine? I mean, a lot of, especially like older recipes like that, especially that are weird, have to do with preservation and fermentation, right? I mean, I don't think anybody did it on purpose. I think that the maggots got in the cheese. They ate it anyways. It tasted good. They realized it had maggots in it, and they just kept making it because it tasted as a way they liked.
Okay, I can't imagine anybody tasting that and go, "Oh, this is
that
good."
Still doesn't make it any less.
Well, compared to our taste now, like, I mean, people eat gefilte fish, and that's fucking foul.
Gefilte fish is nasty.
Yeah.
Gefilte fish is nasty.
I mean, people nowadays still eat completely
Guys,
nasty stuff.
try to think of it as like them trying to be like creative and extreme in a time when there's like people are running out of ideas. Shock.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I don't know how many people can eat that and go, this is yum. Now, I understand like lobster, right? Lobster is an ugly looking thing. Let's be realistic. But it is so good, you don't
Lobster is pretty ugly.
But if cockroaches taste good,
it's
like,
good.
Go eat cockroaches.
You eat cockroaches?
Well, some people do.
Then there's the whole like lutefisk, what the Norwegians do to their fish with lye.
Oh, and they let it sit and lie for like ages, or they do what's called
it's all about preservation, right? I mean, they do that because it makes
they do it to preserve it, but like you don't even need to cook it after all that. It's just cured.
There's actually a type of
out there for sure.
They there's a very difficult way to do it, and it's like a salted type dome that they put the fish in. But you have to do it just right.
Fly patties.
Ew.
Blatant and gross.
Ew.
Think of a burger, but now think of it made out of flies.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Some people eat it. I'm not going to eat it.
All right, so Kyle, let's go down this path some more. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Do you want to go more a science type cooking type question or a more whatever kind of?
I'm good for anything. I mean, I'm not in any way a scientist or I don't have any specialties relating to science and food. But if you want to ask and see if I know, I'll answer what I can for sure.
These should be really simple questions. How about this one? When you're boiling water, what does salt do to the water? Does it make it boil at a higher temperature or make it boil at a lower temperature?
Honestly, it does absolutely nothing.
I think it actually makes it boil at a higher temperature, but you know what? I will check that.
That's why I put salt in my water right here.
I will check that.
It's a wives' tale. It makes no difference.
You're a wives' tale.
Thanks, Max.
Oh, right. Let's check this. We could be right. Let's see.
It's a staple of something that I did every day for 10 years.
Did you measure it?
Well, actually, it says here that it does raise the boil point slightly. A couple different places
but you might want to look a little deeper because when I was looking up the Pemba effect, talking about it like it was a thing, but some papers were like, "Hey, it's probably not really a thing."
Well, I tell you what, we have now discovered what we're going to be talking about for the next year.
What?
Does salt change the boiling point of water? And I mean that.
Moving on from other issues, does salt change the boiling temperature?
That's going to be a critical thing, guys. And obviously, it doesn't change the actual.
I have to know it now.
Does it say what ratio, like to water and salt, that would be altered?
No.
I mean, I think that would be important.
I would like to know that because I put salt.
We could ask a chemist.
Boiling.
Now I know. You know what? You know what? Here's the thing. I just thought about this, and I have an expert someone expert in the live feed here. But I just thought about this. Salt does change the freezing temperature So it wouldn't be that surprising. It doesn't affect the boiling temperature somewhat. You know, but I don't know. Let's ask Eulogy. He's a physics dude. He says, I know salt lowers the MT of water too. Water. Not sure what he means like that.
Steve, what I'm seeing is articles say salt won't help your water boil faster. It's saying
no, it just raises the boiling point. So it means it has more heat added in order to get it to boil.
Yeah.
You're raising the boiling temperature, you mean you have to add more thermal energy in it to get it to boil.
Your water is hotter, but it's not boiling any faster. So I mean, I don't know.
It doesn't change the speed, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Why you would use salt?
Yeah, I think that's the confusion.
It doesn't food pretty much. That's the only thing.
Of course, I'm talking about in terms of helping your water boil faster.
Well, if it raises the temperature, like if you're at a higher altitude, I could see that because your food would cook more in the time, because time changes with altitude. But other than that,
so does the boiling point.
I don't know how much.
Yeah, well, the boiling point changes with altitude. That's why you need more time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's ask the next question. This is a good cooking question. This is a good cooking question, and I'm kind of just randomly taking shit around here. Okay, so you make a dish, Kyle, and it's very, very oversweetened. What is the best way to make it appear less sweetened? Do you want to add flour, add water, or add salt and lemon juice?
I would do the salt and lemon juice for sure.
Yes. Give that man a prize. Absolutely. Very good. You're so cooking for me, dude. You got this stuff down.
Oh, sorry I didn't clap. I was muted, but I still didn't clap.
Sorry I didn't clap, but I was muted, but I didn't clap anyways, so okay. I think we need to make this more difficult for him. He's too easy for him. Okay. Here's a good one, actually. And this is actually a question I found. This is kind of like something I kind of ran into. What is it in a consommé that brings the impurities to the surface so you can just kind of skim it off? What is in there that actually is the active thing that makes the consommé do that? It's a hard question, actually. This is really hard because this is actually dealing with a lot more the science of the proteins in there. Oh, Ulysses wants to come in. Link is at the GDC there, Abad.
I'm just taking a guess.
I don't know the answer to that.
It is the egg white.
Egg white.
Yeah. The egg white in a consommé. Well, what happens is that when I understand, I was reading about this the other day, that when you're making a consommé, which is basically like a very clear type soup, when you put the egg white in there and you bring it to a boil, basically the impurities and everything else in there kind of forms this little like centralized like island of shit, right? And you basically scoop that off. You skim it off the top. But it's the egg white that causes that process. So you end up with this nice clear consommé. Now I gotta tell you people, I can't do any of this stuff. I can't cook. I understand the concepts, but I'm one of those people that understand good art, but I don't know how to actually paint anything. Survival, do we know you?
Here's a question. Here's a question for you.
Hang on, I don't know this person. Survival, do we know you?
No, man. I'm just joining here this evening. Happy New Year's, you guys.
Oh, okay, well that's cool. Happy New Year's. Can I ask, just out of curiosity, how'd you get the link?
I just put in Hangouts in Google search, click the live filter function, came across your guys' link there, clicked, went through some Google. Yeah, there was a few links for me to get to where I'm at now. So hopefully that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, actually it's really quite cool. You know what? I've done the exact same thing. I've actually done that whole Hangout filter thing. I only put the link in certain places because people have a tendency to snipe.
No, man, I hear you for sure. Yeah, I mean, I have a bit of experience with Google Hangouts, so I just kind of followed the directions and ended up here. So
well, Happy New Year!
Place.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, man! What time zone are you guys in? I'm a Mountain Standard Time Zone right now, so it's only 10:30 my time. But if you guys are on the East Coast, Happy New Year's. If you guys are on the West Coast,
2018, right where I am. 30 minutes into 2018, and I'm hating life still.
It's been 2018 for quite a while over here now.
Yeah, Bod's in the future, so I can tell you guys right now. If you want to know the lottery numbers, ask him now.
Sweet. Well, I'm out in Central Time, like I say. It's only 10:35 my time. So if you guys are in 2018, cheers to that. And for us guys that are behind it, well, cheers to you guys too.
Well, welcome to. Are you familiar with us, the Great Debate Community?
No idea, man. I just put in Hangouts.
We need more reach.
Live, and here I am, right?
Yeah, we need more reach. Everybody should know us by now. We're the Great Debate Community on G+, and we're on multi platforms now. We're going big time. If you follow any of the bigger names of YouTubers on YouTube,
what would you consider bigger names of YouTube? Like
not PewDiePie, but I mean like Logic Level or Armored Skeptic or Aaron Raw or
Full Hard Logic.
No, I usually hang around the guys that are like 10 to 30,000 subscriber level. I don't really subscribe to guys bigger than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we have a lot of 10 to 30,000. I'm not one of them.
I have 0.
You have no content.
Yeah,
that's right. I do have no content. I forgot. Maybe I should post my crappy astrophotography.
I'm more into the survival, bushcraft, 72-hour bug out kind of guy. Like more into the survival, outdoor bushcraft.
Nice
side of things.
Technology?
Could you make me a longbow?
Could I make a longbow? I've never made a longbow, but I've watched people make longbows, so I understand the concept behind it. But I've never physically done it myself. So chances are no.
Primitive Technology Survival?
Sorry, go ahead.
Primitive Technology, the channel.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few of his videos. He's done pretty well over the years. I think he's up to like 6 or 7 million subscribers at this point right now. So. Yeah, he's a pretty popular survivalist amongst the community for sure.
Yeah, we do more. Our group is about
watch that. You should check it out, Steve. Seriously, this guy.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, that dude is badass, man. He like literally goes out into the bush by himself. He just has shorts on, no shirt, no shoes, nothing, and basically fashions mud into. He can build shelters. He can build fire pits. He could make. Everything, pottery, everything.
Is that the fellow Australian guy?
Yeah, he's pretty badass,
irrigation
man.
systems in pottery now.
I would watch it, sure.
Yeah, I've actually watched a few things like that. I think I know who you're talking about.
But survival. Let me real quick. What we are, we are a group that talks a lot about science, philosophy, and theology in no particular order.
A bunch of pseudo intellectuals.
Yeah, well, we have actual like. Dozens of people with actual PhDs, so they're not pseudo. But we run debates. We have discussions all the time. Debates. You know who like people like Kent Hovind is? Ever heard of him?
No, man. I think I might be over my head a bit here, but
no. Stick around. No, not at all. I just want to give you a heads up. We fight against things like flat Earth. Fight against.
I mean, let's. He might actually know. Like, you know who Bill Nye is, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Okay, so did you hear about the debate he had with the creationist about a year or two ago?
Vaguely. Now I do listen to a little bit of Joe Rogan podcast. Now that's probably like pretty shitty for you guys, but
I like Joe Rogan.
Right.
I love Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. We were just talking about getting him as a guest. Well, I won't go into too much detail, but yeah, the goal in 2018, if we can get it, I would love to get Joe Rogan in as a guest.
Yeah, I mean, like I've heard some of Joe Rogan podcasts, like like Eddie Bravo is a flat earther, and they've had a couple of guys on in the past in some of their podcasts, and Joe was heavily against the flat Earth model. So, and I've listened to some of that stuff, and looking at some of the live broadcast here on YouTube, I've come across some of the free Chan.
Oh God!
Channel, and I've heard some of that like toxic waste over there. So, I have a little bit of knowledge, I guess, of the flat Earth conspiracy kind of Tower 7 dudes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm not out of the loop there completely, but
all right, because I tell you what, you go to Free Chan, you go to any Rob Skiba, you go to any flat Earth channel out there. There's two names you need to avoid like the plague: Red's Rhetoric and Steve McRae. They'll just block your website. You'll be done. Game over.
Fair enough.
GG. Yeah, they hate us. They just really hate us. Because I used to have a thing that I did called Rum and Coke Night. All we would do, we would go to Flat Earther and try to recruit people from their live chat to come over and have discussions with us.
Okay.
It was hilarious. A great time. Yeah. All laughter ensued.
Yeah.
You should really see them like try to dismantle Newton's laws. They really don't understand equal and opposite reaction stuff.
Yeah, for some reason, rockets don't work in space to them.
Well, yeah.
And they don't know about push off the wall and you move.
Yeah, there's been some pretty wild shit I've heard over there. Like I was over there one day, like maybe a year ago, and I had one guy. His whole argument was the fact that there's no such thing as satellites. And I'm like,
yep, been there, done that.
My whole argument was like, well,
all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like my whole argument was you can go on NASA.
Have you ever heard that water boils at 2,000 degrees?
No, I haven't heard that one yet. No.
I haven't heard that one either.
There's some.
Yes, you have, Max. That was Ronnie's thing.
Oh wait.
There's some real loonies out there.
Ronnie's a flat earther.
Wait. What?
Okay, there's a lot of backstory to this. Okay, I'll let you legit get the details, but basically in a nutshell, because I've had physics and he's had thermodynamics. So when Ronnie said this, the look of horror was just what the. But Ronnie seems to think that at 2,000 degrees, water at atmospheric pressure will stay in a liquid state. Now, you've done some research on this, and I know that's your number.
Celsius or Fahrenheit?
He's in atmosphere, and he could boil water, right?
Well, yeah, about
it seems as if he has absolutely no concept of like pressure, water does not have that concept.
Didn't have a clue.
Has he made macaroni and cheese?
Fuck if I know. I mean, he's literally talking about volcano temperatures here.
How much pressure would it take to have 2,000 degrees Celsius water stay in liquid state? How many gigapascals?
Roughly 27.
Jesus, you know how 27 gigapascals can make you freaking diamonds, people.
Nice.
That's a lot of pressure.
Wait, I know it's irrelevant, but did he want Celsius or Fahrenheit, or even Kelvin?
I don't think it matters all that much, because even if it is Fahrenheit,
no, I don't think it matters all that much either. But
well, yeah, fine.
Celsius, I think it would be hotter.
27 is in Celsius. 27 gigapascals is in Celsius. If it was in Fahrenheit, it would be around 2 gigapascals, which means you'll still be dead.
Yeah, it's still a lot of pressure. Yeah, I don't know why he thought that water could stay liquid state in that. I don't know.
Because he's never made macaroni and cheese. I mean, that's the only explanation. Right?
Well, dude, he is the expert on the stuff. So come on.
Yeah, he's probably like degraded tons of DNA by now.
Oh, that needs to die unless he brings it up again. But we'll see. But let's get Survival the link to join our community. So can somebody do that for us in the group chat, in the internal group chat? Do you have the Survival of the Fittest? Do you have the group chat internal? Can you see it?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Google Hangout screen here now.
There?
Yeah, okay, I see it there. Steve, Steve McRae.
Yeah, let me give you the link to our little. Well, it is on G+, but we are fast expanding on multiple different platforms, including we have our own Discord, we have our own Wikipedia, we have our own domain, cool. We have a new podcast starting.
Awesome.
On January 17th, called the Non Sequitur Show.
So let me ask you a question, man. Since you guys are starting the podcast, I've been kind of looking at some of the podcast setups that people are using. Could you maybe break down for like a few minutes for new viewers, new people that's joining here, just kind of break down your equipment list of like what you would need to start off a podcast as a new YouTuber?
You know what?
A new broadcaster.
What are you trying?
Yeah, let Kyle take this one.
What are you?
Yeah, so basically, I just have a MacBook Pro, and I have a headset / microphone that I'm using now. I have no idea if like how I sound coming across to you guys, if I'm too loud. I have no idea.
You're fine, actually.
Okay, cool.
Are you wanting to do an audio or video?
Ideally, I would like to do a audio video style podcast where I could broadcast using cameras, and then I could have a control person who would, if guest one was speaking, camera would be on guest one, guest two speaks, the transition from guest one to guest two, back to guest one, back to the host, back and forth.
You're gonna need
a mixer and a some kind of broadcast software like XSplit, Switcher. Livestream has a new studio software that's out that's really good. And that can all be controlled on your MacBook Pro. And then you're going to need to get a hosting service like Libsyn or Blueberry or Podbean that can host your episodes. And then you just get your RSS feed from that and plug it into iTunes, and they'll accept you or not, and you go from there.
What's your channel going to be about, Survival?
I personally, I think it's kind of going to go something along the lines of like functional medicine, in the sense that I don't believe in, you know, the current healthcare model right now, where it's kind of, treat the symptoms, not find the cause of the disease. You know, there's probably a lot of deficiencies people have, especially with the nutrition, lack of exercise, some environmental stress that could be causing a lot of the problems that they're experiencing. You go to a physician, you say, hey, I have a pain in my foot, and the physician prescribes you pain medication. He doesn't actually look at why you have a pain in your foot. Right.
I think I honestly, that's a fair thing to talk about. I really do. I think what you're talking about actually is, we have a lot of people that actually kind of in our community that when they talk about like healthcare problems, they're talking about, they think that you should like put rocks in your shoes and onions and they think
that's bullshit. Right?
We have a guy. No, this is true. We have a guy in our community, Tommy. He's actually in another hangout right now live. He actually thinks cancer is good for you.
I'm gonna throw up.
Lovely.
Yeah. I don't think he really believes that, though.
Relay for life is a celebration.
No, he does. He does. He thinks tumors are good for you. He thinks tumors soak up the toxins.
I think he's full of shit and trying to get a rise out of people.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't know Tommy like we know Tommy. Tommy is really legit on that. I'm telling you, he really is legit on that. But anyway, so you got a good point.
Yeah, no,
he's an idiot.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like looking at the big picture and just kind of observing things, and it just seems that this whole system that we exist in at this particular point is just a fixed system for somebody else's benefit, right? It's like nobody really cares about preventing illness. They care about making money off illness, right? So why come up with a cure for disease when you could make money off creating a drug that could extend the life of the organism that has the disease, and put them in a position that where insurance companies had to pay for drugs and et cetera. So, that's kind of my feeling, my ideas about that issue. And I think it'd be interesting to start some dialogue on that and see what other people feel, and, just kind of stand against it, I guess, right? People right now that are, they say that people under 40 right now are, like 1 out of 2 people, 50% of the population have or has some form of chronic disease, under the age of 40, right? And some of those chronic diseases, well, where do they stem from? Are they coming from, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, those kind of things? You go to your physician, you try to deal with those. Of course, they prescribe you medication. They don't give you an action plan to say, hey, you're obese. Let's refer you to a nutritionist. Let's refer you to like a personal trainer. Like insurance companies should be paying for that kind of treatment, versus the medications, right? Because
you believe in a more holistic approach.
Well, a holistic approach, yeah. I mean, I don't have the education or even the background really to really vet anything, but it's just my feeling, just my observation on this.
Have you had, I don't want to go into like personal detail clearly, but is this something that from your own experience, have you had problems with the healthcare system?
No, not really. I just, I have some family who has been in the healthcare system, right? Like they're in the system, they're patients within the system. Mm-hmm. And just basically the course of treatment that they've been prescribed has usually been medication. It's never been a treatment plan to say, hey, let's deal with this situation. It's like, let's manage the situation. And that's the problem. It's like, let's manage it. Let's manage the symptoms. So I go to the physician, I have pains in my knees. They prescribe me pain medication. That pain medication causes a problem with my kidneys. They prescribe me kidney medication.
Yeah, the opioid dependency has gone skyrocketing, and yes, there has been absolutely over prescription of opioids. I mean, I don't think anybody would disagree with that, especially when you had one doctor that was writing how many hundreds of scripts annually. I mean, more like it was like 100 times the amount the average doctor would do. That's all he did was like, oh, what's that? You got a cold? Here's opium. You know,
Yeah.
thing. Here's Norco. So if that's the kind of thing you're talking about, then I'm all supportive of that. I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah, for sure.
So does anybody like disagree with that? I mean, we are the great debate community. Somebody has to find fault with something. Or does everybody kind of agree with that? Just kind of curious.
I don't see how you can find fault with that.
Dude, we have people that think the earth is flat. Come on. So yeah, people.
Touche.
Yeah. Nothing surprises me. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Survive. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. And if you do start a podcast and you need some help, whatever I can do, once we get ours kind of going. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I definitely appreciate it. And that's one of the treasures of using Google, you know, to go into YouTube and just search tag words like Hangouts, open Hangouts, and, you know, you come across groups like this. So, you know, like I am for technology and for, you know, advancement of whatever, but it's just, you know, sometimes I think they got a control on us, right? You know, I'm not sure just to kind of throw something out there, like, what do you guys think about gun control?
Oh, great question. Wow, we're going to go deep here. Okay. Well, what state are you in again?
I mean, I'm in the gun community personally. Like I own firearms. I own.
Yeah.
Right.
What state are you in?
Sorry.
What state, if you don't mind?
I'm actually Canadian, so that even adds extra spice to it. Yeah, that's going to really open it up.
Okay. You know, there's not a lot of people that ask me my position on this. You're kind of one of the first.
Okay.
So, you know, feel special. You're my first on this.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my position on gun control. As somebody who has had a concealed weapons permit, which is not easy to get, I've had multiple firearms in my life. I've had it from a Derringer 22 to a Jennings. I had a Bounty Buckmark. I've had rifles. I've had shotguns. Fully licensed concealed shooting range with sheriffs. Here's my position, though. I think that we should definitely have freedom to have firearms. I'm definitely not against private citizens owning firearms. However, I do think that when it comes to certain weapons of high capacity, like 15, higher than a 15 capacity clip in California is illegal. I don't see a need to have those types of assault rifles, except for the cases of private collectors and a few other maybe situations. But I do think that if somebody has weapons, when it comes to gun control, and people can say this is gun control or not, you need to be qualified. No average schmuckatelli should ever have a weapon unless they've ever taken a safety firearms course and they've gone to the range and they've demonstrated a proficiency at it. If some people call that gun control, I don't. I think that's responsible. I've had it happen. To me, that's responsible firearm safety. Now, does that make
reasonable?
Sense? I think so, but dude, people have argued against that.
That's extremely reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're able to operate a vehicle like a car, for example, you know, you have to go take a driving test. You have to demonstrate that you're able to park, drive, accelerate, brake, corner, handling. Same thing with firearms. I think that should be the exact same kind of test that should be demonstrated before you are given a license. I'm not against people owning firearms. I just think that people should have the proper training and they should have some form of instruction or documentation supporting that activity.
That's exactly.
But there's no reason why someone should have an assault rifle.
Yeah, well, that's my
yes,
issue.
There is. Yes, there is in a certain sense, and this is maybe where I may disagree with you guys. Is that the definition? Okay, so I'm just going to ask first of all, what's your definition of an assault rifle?
Anything
fully automatic, higher than 15.
Anything that you can hold the trigger down and shoot multiple.
Okay, so
one pull, one shot, I have no problem with.
So, for an example, in Canada, so your definition of an assault rifle, meaning a fully automatic rifle, is a prohibited weapon in Canada. So you're not allowed to own that unless you are like RCMP, CSIS, or some security company that would have special access to those firearms.
Not necessarily. By the way, an assault rifle doesn't have to be fully automatic. An assault rifle could be semi.
No,
I don't think that. Well, hang on one second. I don't want to give the impression that I'm against assault rifles. I can see an argument either way.
I want to give that impression.
Okay, well that's fair enough. And you know what? We'll take both sides on this. I'm kind of sway me on it because, like I said, I don't think there's really a need for them to have a fully automatic assault rifle, high capacity clips.
But my question to you would be, why do you feel like that for? Like what has happened in order for you to feel that 30 or 50 round magazines should be illegal?
Las Vegas, right?
Las Vegas, Sandy Hook.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. So if we look at in the United States of America, how many deaths are associated to high capacity magazines in the United States of America?
A lot.
Most of them.
A lot. Okay, so let's look at the total deaths in the United States of America for high capacity magazines versus the total deaths in America for street racing or dragging.
Yeah, that's a false equivalent.
That's right.
Street racing.
Yeah.
No,
Here it comes, guys.
No, it's
non
not.
sequitur.
It's
Hold
not.
on.
It's not because for this reason here that like you say that it's okay to have, let's say, a 5-round magazine, but you shouldn't have a 30-round magazine. That's like saying you should only have a 100 horsepower vehicle versus a 300 horsepower vehicle.
Here's a better question. You tell me
what do you need
why you would
30
need
rounds
that
for?
kind of why
Guys, why do you need
500
500 horsepower for?
Hold on.
Let Kyle go
Tony,
because
stop.
we can't. Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Give me an instance where you would need that kind of weapon.
Where do you need 400 horsepower?
That's not the question. Give me
but it's relevant. Listen. It is 100.
All right, let me moderate. Wait, guys, hang on.
I'll answer your question.
This is what I do. I moderate discussions. So let me moderate this.
Okay.
Survival. When you're asked a question, the Great Debate Community is very, very strong in debating. We moderate very high name debates, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of views.
Okay.
So one of the things we have is that when you're asked a question, you can't ask a question. You can't answer a question with a question.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me that. Sorry.
Oh, you'll learn. This is great. We love new people in the Great Debate Community.
Yeah, no,
I'll learn how to argue better.
Down. Just like educate me on the rules, and I'll play along. I'm not a troll. I'm just being real. I just don't know.
You're going to be here.
Yeah, I just don't know the rules. So okay, so cool. Sorry. Sorry. What was your question again? And I'll respond to it.
Give me any type of instance where you would need that kind of weapon.
Okay, so for an example, I have a cousin of mine who lives in the Northwest Territories in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And in the far Northwest Territories, there is an overpopulation of wolves. And wolves are known to travel in packs of, 7 to 15 wolves in a pack.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say in Canada, for an example, the current gun laws in Canada is that there's a restriction where you can only have a 5-round magazine in a semi-automatic centerfire gun. So if you own an AR-15, you can only have a maximum capacity of 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out in the far reach of Northwest Territories, Yukon, Alaska, up in the wilderness, and I have a pack of wolves come on me. Why shouldn't I be allowed in that situation to be able to defend myself by realizing that scientifically proven, like that wolves travel in packs of, let's say, like 7 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a maximum magazine capacity of 5, why shouldn't I be able to have a maximum magazine capacity to defend myself of, let's say, 12 to 15?
Sure, no one's saying that, but what's more prevalent? People getting shot by these assault weapons, or people getting attacked by wolves and not having the appropriate number of rounds on them? Which one do you hear more often?
Well, obviously, people aren't attacked by wolves as frequent as people are killed with guns.
Correct. So what's more prudent then? What's more prudent?
Well, obviously, the magazine capacity. But if you're looking at magazine capacity from that point, then why do we have then why are we okay with tobacco being legal? How many people die a year of tobacco? How many people?
I don't think we are.
From like secondhand smoke. Like in Canada, for an example, there's 45,000 Canadians that die every year from tobacco.
Sure.
In Canada, there's.
Well, what you're doing though is you're going off topic. You're not addressing the actual topic, which is the magazine capacity. We could go off on several different examples of how they would equate, but we're talking about the magazine and the need to have that kind of firepower for the average person.
Well, I mean,
okay, I can think.
I can think of one. I'll look at it from the point where it's a free country. Like I live in Canada, you live in the U.S. It's a free country. Who is somebody to tell somebody that you can't do this because of this. Like if you're genuinely, honestly worried about magazine capacity because of the amount of unjustified deaths or in the United States every year, then you should be equally as worried about the unjustified amount of deaths from secondhand smoke every year, which is probably 10 times the amount of, firearms in the United States.
Well, if it's a free country,
right?
And I don't have the right to tell you how many bullets you can have. So who are you to tell somebody that they can't do heroin or?
I agree completely.
Cocaine?
I agree with that completely. I don't think that we should regulate those things. Like, who are we to regulate? Like, we regulate. Somebody somewhere is saying that heroin is more dangerous than what cigarettes are. Cigarettes are the #1 leading cause of death in Canada, in the world. But yet that's legal because it's a tax racket, is what it is. And the government doesn't.
The difference is, though, those people are doing it to themselves. When you smoke, you're taking that on themselves. The people who are the victims of these high-capacity magazines don't have that.
Well, the people that are the victims of secondhand cigarettes, how many people die a year for secondhand smoke versus how many people die a year from
I'm not sure.
overcapacity magazines? Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Ottawa would like nothing more than to ban tobacco. Okay, they do not make money off of the taxes. Any money that they make off of tobacco tax, they put back into healthcare to fix the shit that causes.
Do you have something to vet that? Could you send me a link that actually provides information saying that the money that's made off cigarettes actually goes back into healthcare? Because I'm curious to see how much the Laurier, Export A, Players Light, Marlboro actually puts back into the healthcare system. I would love to see that number.
I still don't see what this has to do with the magazine capacity.
Yeah, I think. Well, no, it has everything to do with it, because if you're choosing one thing, so the root concern is the amount of people that die because people have access to 30 or 50 round magazines. That's your ultimate concern, right?
Correct.
So let's look at the amount of people that's exposed to secondhand smoke. There are more people that die every year due to secondhand smoke than what are actually shot due to overcapacity magazines.
I'm not saying that you're wrong about that, but that's not my battle right now. My battle is with the magazines. I'm not worried about the secondhand smoke at this particular time. I'm worried about high capacity magazines that are killing people, like at the church down in Texas or in Las Vegas.
But why?
Survival. I think what you're running into here, real quick, if I may, survival.
Sure.
Have you ever heard what's called a false equivalence or a faulty comparison?
Not really, no.
Okay, it's a type of logical fallacy, and basically what it says in a nutshell is that just because two things are similar in one way doesn't mean they're similar in other ways. And when you're trying to use an argument saying, okay, we don't want to have high capacity because of some other thing that is completely unrelated, you're taking this weird two things and you're trying to show a comparison between the two that are completely unrelated. One has nothing to do with the other. Just because you accept one doesn't mean you accept the other, and you can't use one argument to prop up argumentation for the other. So if you want to argue against guns, you can't really say, well, because of some other thing you allow, that makes no difference to the fact of what you're actually talking about. Because all you're doing is just trying to change, you're trying to shift the narrative of something else, and it doesn't work as an argument.
Okay, fair enough.
Saying with that?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so then, let me change the angle and say that the whole purpose of basically anybody in Canada or the United States of America can walk into a gun store and buy a 30-round magazine. That's like I can do it in Canada, which means you can do it in the United States of America. The only thing separating me from a 30-round magazine is a 1 cent rivet that is pinned where the right. So I can only put in a maximum capacity of 5 rounds, right, in Canada, right?
Well, in California too, that there's a rivet that goes in there that actually limits the capacity anymore.
Right.
Most of them. Yeah.
So the whole point is, if I go through a 24-hour gun safety course, if I have my background vetted to make sure that I'm actually okay to own a firearm, and you give me the 30-round magazine, and the only thing separating me from 5 rounds or 30 rounds is a 1 cent rivet, which I could easily take out on my own. So basically the government is putting the trust back into the individual. The honest people in the world, like myself, is never going to take out that 1 cent rivet. It's the criminals that are going to remove that 1 cent rivet and not honor the law, because their intent is to commit murder anyway. So why why would a criminal whose intent is to commit murder worry about removing a 1 cent rivet? So if you're giving access, if you're giving them the tools to say, hey, you can have the 30-round magazine, but don't take out that 1 cent rivet, right? And I'm going to, and what I want to do is I want to put pressure on all the honest people in the world, all the honest people who own guns or firearms, whatever, to say that I know these guys won't take the rivet out. It's going to be the criminal who's going to take the rivet out.
You have a little bit more strict gun laws in Canada, correct?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay. So how many mass shootings do you have in Canada this past year?
I mean, we may have had under 100 people that was shot in Canada with an illegal firearm in the last year. Under 100. I couldn't give you the number, but like it's under 100 for sure. And we have 35 million people in Canada.
There's two major problems that I see there, Survival. First, your example with the wolves. Unfortunately, you're putting yourself in a position. You're saying I'm going to put myself in position A. Therefore, the reasoning for my argument is sound because of the consequentialism of what's going to happen if I don't have a high capacity clip. But you're putting yourself in that position.
Right. I am. But why shouldn't I be able to put myself in that position? Is a question.
You can, but then you can't say, "Oh, I put myself in that position. Therefore, you should have made me. Should have given me the allowance to have a high capacity clip." That doesn't follow. It's a non sequitur. By the way, great thing. Keep saying it a lot. Everybody say non sequitur.
Sequitur is a sexy word. I had to say sequitur is a sexy word. I'm actually writing that down on my fridge to say sequitur, and I want to look at that tomorrow and remember it from this evening. So thank you for that.
January 17th, 2018.
There we go. Right, first word for 2018 is sequitur. All right.
Non sequitur. Non sequitur.
Non sequitur.
Okay. Non sequitur. Yeah, sequitur means something that actually logically follows from the premises, and non sequitur means it logically doesn't follow.
I mean, ultimately, let me just say this because I'll have to be checking out here soon. Like
hell you are.
I totally get that that gun control is a highly, it makes people combative. It's touchy. It strikes a nerve, but at some point, after everything that's happened and all the shootings, we have to take a step back and we have to be reasonable and we have to use logic and we have to let go of the fact that we think we have this inalienable right to have any type of firearm that we want, and that's just not the case. It's not dictated what kind that you have, and we see more and more that these mass shootings are happening with these high capacity rounds. And even if we take little steps, any kind of step would be a step in the right direction. Right now we're doing absolutely nothing. And it's happening more and more and more and more. And it's just got to stop. We have to wake up.
I tend to go along with that. Like I said, I think what's going to happen, and it happens with most controversial things. You're right. Gun control is a very controversial topic.
Something else.
There has to be moderation with everything, though. There's going to have to be compromises from both sides when it comes to certain things. And gun control is one of them. Neither side is going to get what they completely want. It's not going to happen. Stop.
We're going to have to strike a deal. Donald Trump makes the best deals.
Yeah. Something else I want to point out, too, is like, the inalienable right, that's from the Declaration of Independence. The Constitution is supposed to be a living document. The Second Amendment is just that. It is an amendment. It was actually an add-on to the Constitution. It wasn't part of the original document, although the Bill of Rights is one of the first things they did do to the document, and that's the first 10 amendments. So it is part of the Bill of Rights, which are probably never going to be repealed.
No,
however,
but that's at a time when they had muskets.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Second Amendment.
I mean, that's completely pointless.
My point to that is it can be amended. We can get more specific.
Absolutely.
It's designed to be amended to become more specific and change with the times. It's not designed to be this. It's not designed to be this monolith, basically.
Yeah, I know this could come as a complete shock to people who know me for years, but I'm not a strict constitutionalist, right? I do believe that the Constitution is a living document, and that there's some things that can be changed. The Second Amendment, however, as originally drafted, is not how it's implemented now. What has happened is the actual judicial system has stepped in, and they've interpreted the Second Amendment far beyond the original intent. Let's be realistic. I think anybody who's ever read the Second Amendment knows it's gone well beyond a well-regulated militia, because what the hell does that even mean anymore? We don't have conscripts, right? We don't have muskets, single-loaded things. It doesn't really apply to modern times. Would anybody disagree with that, out of curiosity?
I wouldn't disagree, but there is one other thing that's related that I've heard thrown around. It's not just in the Second Amendment, but basically the whole Constitution is protection against a tyrannical government, and some people will argue that.
I get that. That's a fair criticism. Here's the other thing. Look, here's the thing, though. Even with against a tyrannical government, and I think it was a Jefferson said that occasionally you need an overthrow of the government. You don't need high capacity weapons. Look, here's the reality. Somebody who's ex-military, right? You spent 6 years in the military. You have some civilian people running around with some guns. You're going to get your ass handed to you.
Jefferson wasn't talking about a violent revolution.
No, I know, but I didn't say that.
Specifically, I just want to point out in context, he was specifically talking about a constitutional Congress.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have the right to petition the government and assemblies and all that stuff. We can overthrow them just by voting them out.
There's but a full-on militia could not overthrow the government now. Maybe back, in 1776, but not now. That would never.
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. That's why I wanted to get to, Kyle. You hit the nail on the head on that one. Back then, it would have been a lot different, right? Because you didn't have these massive amount of weapons that the military has now. If the military, we have what's it called, posse comitatus, we cannot actively have military on American soil, right? We're not allowed to. But if we did, these small little groups that think they've got some firearms, are going to put up fight. They're going to get squashed. They're going to get just smashed, right? Because again, the weaponry has changed that. So I think that we have to face reality that we're living in times that the Constitution was not originally designed to handle.
Doesn't that happen anyway?
I've spoken with a few of these people, and I keep saying, when people are always like, "Oh, we can have an uprising against the government or whatever," I'm like, dude, you're going to get surrounded. Whatever shit town you're in, you're going to get surrounded, and they're just going to go siege mode on you. You're not going to get anything in or out. You're not getting out.
Sure.
They're just going to starve you to death, and you'll
what do you think a blockade is?
Can I offer you guys something?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly, Captain. What do you think?
What happened to the Bundys?
Well, what do you think a naval blockade is? Yeah, go ahead, Survival.
Yeah, I just want to say that like not every gun owner is owning guns with the whole Red Dawn model where it's like we're going to go, we're going to fight against foreign countries, we're going to fight against. I think the whole purpose of owning the firearm is the same thing why we own insurance and why we take first aid courses, and like why we have smoke detectors in our home. It's because, the chances of you ever having a fire in your home, I don't have the information for that, but I'm sure somebody can Google really quick to say like what the average chances of somebody owning having a fire in their
actuary that's listening. Yeah, go ahead.
Something, right? So why do we have fire suppression systems in our home? Why do we have sprinkler heads? Why do we have fire alarms? Why are we required to pay for insurance? Because of a very small probability that we may have a fire. Why do we have AED machines everywhere? I mean, AED machines are in gyms, they're in schools.
But no one's arguing that you don't have the right to own a firearm. We're arguing
but the whole point
have the right to have a 30 magazine clip.
But the amount, but the capacity of the firearm doesn't represent the impact of the firearm itself. Like
yes, it does. It represents. No, it
doesn't.
The
because anybody that owns a firearm, for an example, me being a Canadian, I own, let's say, a semi-automatic rifle. Okay, and my magazine capacity is 5 rounds. And if I own 10 5-round magazines, that gives me 50 round capacity. And if I can change those magazines within like a half a second, what difference do you think it makes? Like it doesn't prevent
Let me answer that. Let me answer that question. I haven't answered that question. What that prevents when you're not able to squeeze off 5 more rounds is 5 less people dying in those kind of situations like we had in Las Vegas.
Oh, and another thing, I love firearms, like even firearms that we're not allowed to have, like even like the XM25 airburst grenade launcher. But I'm kind of on the fence about the regulation stuff because I'm not fully educated about it. But I gotta agree with Kyle on some of the stuff.
Yeah, but like my question is like you said that 5 that the difference between a 5-round magazine versus a 30-round is that 5 more people won't die. But that's incorrect, because I could drop that, not me, but somebody could drop that magazine and load another 5-round magazine and go pop, 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 drop, pop, 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 drop, pop, 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 drop.
So you know what?
It's not that easy.
Yeah,
yes, it is that easy.
Well,
it's 100% that easy. The only thing that prevents the person from doing it is the individual.
Hold on. Isn't if you just kind of slip them up for a fraction of a second,
that's what's
not better than doing nothing.
Yeah, and that's the opportunity. Usually people, the best time to actually go after somebody is when they're changing mags.
So that goes.
That's
so
wait, let me finish. Wait, let me finish.
Your whole principle is based on the fact that the criminal will not drop out that pin. So your whole
no. Let me finish.
100%.
Let me
You're going on
finish.
the honesty of the criminal.
No.
If you only have 5-round magazines, the criminal won't drop that pin.
I'm going on the fact that no one needs that many bullets.
Yeah, I think you're misunderstanding the argument. I'm not arguing for the pins. I think the pin is a stupid idea.
Right.
The
whole thing.
I think the high capacity magazines themselves.
Yeah, get rid of the whole thing.
Should be banned.
So if your argument was to abolish all high-capacity magazines and only manufacture 5-round magazines and call out a massive recall with martial law to go from house to house to say we're going to recall every...
No.
Wait, hang on. Now you're doing a slippery slope.
I'm not. What I'm saying is that if your argument is to say that 5-round magazines should be the standard and everything over 5 rounds should be abolished...
You said 5 rounds.
Well, it's 5 rounds in Canada. I'm only arguing what's in Canada. So if it's 10 rounds in the US, it's 10 rounds. The point is that the whole point is high capacity magazines, and you guys feel that by abolishing high capacity magazines that it's going to reduce the amount of people that would be killed in a mass shooting. So by saying that, that means that you have faith in the honesty of a criminal who's going to say, I'm not going to pop out that 1-cent rivet to go from a 5-round to a 30-pound magazine, which is ridiculous. That's not going to happen.
I'm saying I'm not going to make it easy.
Selling the 5.
Stop selling it.
I'm not going to make it easy for them to any easier. If I can slip them up even a fraction of a second.
Here's the problem with what Survival's saying, right?
All right. Seth, go ahead and then let me say one thing after you.
Right. The problem with what you're saying, Survival, is I think you're wrong, right? Criminals won't pop out that rivet at least until they're ready to break the law with their guns, because then if somebody finds out that they have this gun that is in violation, then
correct. But that's the only time.
Let me finish.
Sorry, you're right. I apologize. I'm sorry. Continue.
Right. Now, if he wants to go do a mass shooting and he has some plan for it, right? Well, then he might have time to remove that rivet and increase the capacity of his magazines. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, right? But it's kind of ridiculous to say there will be no cases in which this will save lives.
I agree. And let me expand upon that for a second. Survival, would you or would you not agree that having the less capacity of rounds, mags, and not even having the high capacity mags or the rivet, by implementing those two things, would it increase the amount of deaths? If we got what we wanted and said, look, we want to have the rivets, I think it's kind of whatever, but it's better than nothing, and we only want to have lower capacity mags, would that ever, by implementing that, you think increase the amount of deaths in these shootings?
I don't think right now the answer is no. I don't think it would. I don't think it would decrease the amount of deaths. I don't think it would increase. I don't think it would decrease the amount of deaths, because if my intention is to do damage, and if I have 10 5-round magazines for a total of 50 rounds versus 2 30-round magazines for a total of 60 rounds, the amount of death is going to be equal, because all I'm going to do is change the magazines fast. If my intent is to go out to cause harm, I'm going to cause harm. The magazine capacity isn't going to prevent me. All it's going to do is...
Okay, hold on, wait. I got to say something about that.
Hang on, man. Let me please find it. Guys, let me please finish this train of thought real quick, okay? Seriously. Survival, okay. Fair enough. Now, listen to this carefully, though. Since you've just agreed that it won't, in all likelihood, increase the amount of deaths, and I think rationally anybody would agree with that.
Right.
Don't you think we need to try something, and that by giving in to this particular types of concessions that people want for gun control, let's see what happens. We need to do something. This is a minor thing to give up. I mean, it's so minor thing that have, get rid of the high capacity clips to keep people's firearms. I mean, think about it. If that's the only thing you had to give up, because I mean, people want to get rid of guns altogether, right? And I understand people think there's an incremental thing going on. I don't really believe that narrative. I don't think that there's an incremental thing, but I think that if we can actually show by giving it a shot and banning high capacity clips, and I know places that have, and there has been a decrease. Okay, Canada's one of them. So why not give it a go?
Well, down here.
Yeah, but we need proof to say that the high capacity magazines is what's causing the death. We don't have any evidence providing that.
We do have proof.
We don't.
Yes.
So there's evidence. So there's evidence saying that the cause that the cause of death in the U.S. is due to high capacity magazines,
not a cause,
not the availability of firearms.
It's
the availability of firearms.
Hold on.
Everybody, calm down.
Survival. Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask one.
This is the best hangout ever for New Year's. Thank you, guys.
Listen, only human.
I'm being the antagonist.
Yes, I love this. Okay, Kyle, you get to go next. Kyle,
on a human level, let's just say this on a human level.
I'm gonna get a drink. Fuck you.
Is it not worth? Is it not worth the trade to try that?
Yes, I agree with you.
It is worth the trade. However, if I'm willing to trade up the firearms, then why aren't we all, as a community, willing to trade up 400 horsepower Corvettes and Ferraris and Lamborghinis?
You know what?
I'm willing to. I advocate
400 horsepower Corvettes, Ferraris, and Lamborghinis aren't designed to kill shit.
Right. No, but they do.
But they've been built.
But they do.
No, that's not the sole purpose. A gun's sole purpose is to kill something.
No, no. You're incorrect. No. You're incorrect.
No, that's the only reason it exists. You either
the sole purpose of a firearm is to defend, not to kill.
Stop yelling. Let's talk. Okay.
The sole purpose is to defend, not kill. If you look at it from an aggressor point of view, then yeah, you're killing. If you look at it from, I own defensive firearms, not all my shotgun.
I'm not talking killing the person trying to
defense as in protect me.
I'm talking about shooting animals. I'm talking about shooting anything.
That's like saying that's like the purpose of saying the purpose of nuclear arms is mad.
No,
now hold on. I don't intend
firearm. I don't own an offensive
guys, I own a little. Okay, guys, I have a little.
I find this idea that you don't think that a decrease in rounds would save lives to be astounding. Considering, I mean, have you watched any mass shooting, any footage from any mass shooting?
I have.
Most people get away, right?
I have.
For the Vegas shooting, for
okay,
the capacity isn't what's killing people.
I would never stop talking.
The capacity isn't what's killing people.
I never stopped talking except to stop to see if you were going to let me.
Let's finish.
There's a huge amount of people, like in Vegas, for example, who got away in the middle of him changing rounds. Right.
What about the incident in France where they took a Cuban and ran over a survival?
I don't understand why I can't finish a sentence.
Let Seth finish, and then when he's done, you can respond, and he'll give you that same respect. But let him
finish. Okay, Seth, I apologize. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, guys, give Survival. He's new. I mean, give him a little. By the way, I'm
a bit emotional. I'm sorry.
We did.
It's New Year's. We're all emotional.
Go ahead, Seth.
So there's, I mean, that is, I don't know how you could make the claim that people didn't get away while he was changing out magazines, and how that's not a common trope in most mass shootings with high capacity rounds.
And ultimately, you never did answer the first my original question from the very beginning is why someone would need that amount of bullets. If you can give me a reasonable reason besides the hypothetical situation that could come about of wolves attacking people in Northwest Canada, why else would you need those? If you can give me a reason, I'll concede that.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
because you're putting yourself in a position.
No. My response to that is initially.
It's a legitimate.
Captain,
hey, let him finish.
Captain. Hang on.
Yeah, my response to that, initially is going to be a couple of things. So I'm just going to say 2 or 3 things, and then we can kind of go from there. But one, it's a free country. I should be able to do whatever I want to do because it's a free country. If I want to own 15 cows, nobody should come to me. Now, I know owning cows are different from owning firearms or capacity, but the principle behind it is the same. If I want to own a 500 horsepower Ferrari that has the ability to drive 200 miles an hour, then I should be able to own that. If I'm able to own that, then why should somebody tell me, well, you can have this, but you can't have that? So who's really So the whole purpose of an idea is to say that I don't agree with this because of the impact it has on others.
Should you be allowed to have a nuclear bomb? Should you be allowed to have one of those, or a grenade launcher?
I was a nuclear person, so I
know, but survival. Should you be allowed to? Should somebody have the right to have a nuclear bomb in their possession?
No, I don't agree with that. So
why is the difference?
You got me there. Right? But the thing is that a nuclear bomb in severity, if you look at classifications of things, that a nuclear bomb would impact like millions of people, right? Like
Thank you.
Just
you
right?
have arrived at my side of the argument. Thank you.
So the whole thing is that look at so that's going to work for me as well, because if you look at the numbers of people that are affected by firearms is far less than people that are affected by street dragging and motor vehicle accidents due to high horsepower vehicles. There are more people that die every year from higher.
False analogy, survival. You can't compare one thing with another. Just because one thing's bad, you can't say, well, this is also bad. Therefore, you can't make that analogy there.
Yeah, we can, because if our whole we can because if we're all coming from the same place to say that we care about humanity, we care about people, people shouldn't be affected from guns and.
So wait a minute, let's think about this though. If we have all these problems, and I quit smoking 2 years ago, I smoked for 25 years, right? So and I am still to this day pro smokers. People want to smoke. I will never be against people's right to smoke because I smoked for 25 years. I don't want to be a hypocrite. But you cannot say because smoking is bad, we need to get rid of smoking, but we haven't yet. Therefore, why bother with gun control? There are two different
what I'm
issues.
saying is, where's the intent coming from? Like, why are you more worried about gun control?
The intent is to save people.
Nobody's more worried.
If you're worried about saving people on paper, that if you want to save people, prevent people from smoking cigarettes, because the number one cause of premature death in the United States of America and Canada is due to cigarette smoking. So if you really want to reach out and help people and save people, and you're worried about generally people, then put that amount of effort into something that will actually make a difference.
And if someone was going around shoving cigarettes in other people's mouth, then we would definitely get rid of cigarettes.
Well, they are. That's called secondhand smoke. That's called secondhand smoke.
The difference.
And there are more people that die every year from secondhand smoke.
A gun.
You want me to give you numbers? I'll give you the numbers right now. Just give me about 2 minutes. I'm just gonna mute my mic and I'll give you the numbers.
No. We don't need the numbers, because I mean, a lot of people do have. Survival. Yeah, a lot of people agree that there are a lot of deaths in secondhand smoke. But survival. Here's the thing. Look if let's say I'm an expert in firearms. Let's say I know exactly about SWAT techniques. Let's say I know a lot about that particular field. I don't know shit about what smoking is.
Right.
I could fight on that front, because I can tell. I would give the narrative of this is what high capacity clip is. I explain to people. I have the expertise for that. Now I'm not saying I do. I don't. I'm saying totally hypothetically. Just for a person, each person has to pick the battles of what they're able to work on that front. Yes, I think they all need to be addressed, right? But you're saying, well, let's take it. And I forget, there's actually a name of the fallacy for this. I can't even think of it. Maybe somebody in the live chat can. Where you say just because one thing. No, tu quoque is when you say, hey, look, you're smoking and you're advocating against smoking. That's a tu quoque fallacy. But there's a name of a fallacy. It's a very unused one. But it's basically saying that, hey, this is bad, but this is worse. And I forget the name of it. It's type of equivocation fallacy.
It's not that it's worse, but for me, it's equal, is what I'm saying, is that it's equal. To say that if secondhand cigarette smoke can cause just as much or as more death as what firearm-related incidents would cause, then why aren't we advocating more towards that? If we say that high-capacity magazines equate to more deaths, and that's like saying that we should restrict the amount of liters we can put in a vehicle, because if you drive a vehicle 500 kilometers, you're at a much higher likelihood of having an accident versus if you only drive 200 kilometers.
So let's just not do anything. So let's just not do anything.
But it's not let's not do anything. But okay, where does it start and where does it begin? Where does it start and where does it begin?
Just so that you can hold on. Just so that you can hold on to a couple extra bullets. It's worth trading those lives for. You realize that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't
think
that's like
saying. I don't abolish cigarettes.
Guys, I don't think that's the argument. I think the argument really is why, or what is the priority here, and why is your priority should be given more importance than, say, so if you want to actually do gun control first, or if you want to do smoking first, why should we actually do smoking over gun control, or gun control over smoking?
But, yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Look, can I point something out here?
I mean, that's crazy.
Wait,
no, it's not crazy.
Bonkers. Yes,
it's triage. It's life triage.
Wait a second.
It's bonkers.
Wait a second, Kyle.
It's bonkers.
Wait a second, Kyle. Wait a second.
It's not really crazy. It
is.
By the way, excuse me. Yeah, by the way, there's the name of the fallacy. I had to look it up. I couldn't remember it because it's not used very often. It's called the fallacy of relative privation, also known as not as bad fallacy. That's
so somebody said
that fallacy of relative privation.
I did a little bit of research, and I think I could be wrong on this, but I just did some looking at some statistics, and it looks as if that there are more gun deaths in the U.S. alone in the last decade than all of people who have ever been killed by nuclear bombs.
Yeah, probably. But let me read this out real quick, Seth. Okay, so let me read this out. So survival, like I said, we're the great debate community. We call people out on bad arguments. This is what we actually do. So this fallacy, nobody's ever heard it before in the great debate because it's so rare, and that's why I couldn't remember the name, the fallacy of relative privation. But what it goes is this. If something is worse than the problem being currently discussed, then the problem currently discussed isn't that important. Okay, so basically what you're saying is we're talking about one particular thing, but it's not as bad as something else. It's called the not as bad fallacy. That's the colloquial name for it. That is a logical fallacy. It's an informal logical fallacy in your argumentation.
Right. Okay.
So,
yeah, that makes
I want you to be aware of that. I'll give you the link for it because, like I said, I had to look it up. Even that's how rare I actually call people out on this one. I don't think I ever have actually, but I knew about it because I read a lot about this shit.
It's kind of a new mistake because it doesn't matter whether those other things are as bad as or worse than what we're talking about here. They are we do things about cigarette smokes. There's court cases galore about cigarettes. I mean, we're doing things about everything, and it's not a dichotomy. And that's what you're trying to turn it into with that argument. You're trying to
I do have to put forward that point as well, because nowadays there are designated smoking areas. There's a ban on smoking in certain areas.
Hang on a second. Kyle, your OCD is killing us. You're flipping the mic.
I don't know if it's more if it's more global, if it's just an Australian thing, but we do have plain packaging laws over here now. So adverts can't actually be on television. They can't be on the packets of cigarettes themselves, and any retailers that are actually selling tobacco products, they all have to be they can't be displayed out in the open. So they have to be specifically asked by the customer rather than just simply displayed and shown to the public.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and by the way, somebody had pointed out it was Mike O, and he gave a super chat, $2. Thank you for the super chat. I'm very happy to accept those still. I like PayPal because they don't take out as much, but I appreciate anything, even $1 people give me as well. Believe me, it is appreciated. But what he said was the number one cause of death, preventable. Well, actually, the number one cause of
premature
death. Yeah, premature death is cancer. And by the way, it is going into New Year real quick because I really should probably get this out there. I do want to thank all the people that have actually supported throughout the year, the people that have Patreon. You guys that know, you guys that are in here that are Patreons that know a lot about my life and that know how much your Patreon has supported me and has helped. I from the bottom of my heart extend to you my deepest, happiest New Year's Eve, and it's thank you. I mean, I don't know what else to say. So
don't cry. I love you too.
I love you, man.
Oh,
thanks, Steve, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we you know what, we love new people, and you know what's funny is I think last time I haven't had an annual New Year's hangout every year, and I think last time we met somebody new, and I can't remember who they were. I think we scared them off. No, I don't remember who it was. Oh yeah, Opal Dragon. I got to tell you guys, I have one person on my Maker support, Opal Dragon. I don't know much about Maker support. He asked me, and I tried to figure it out. I guess it works, so we'll see. But thank you, Opal Dragon. He supports me on Maker support. A couple bucks, appreciate it. So I try to put out some content. And by the way, like I said, going in next year, we got huge plans. So Survival's got a podcast coming up. You know, we'll probably see what that's going on, and Kyle, you want to say anything else about our particular project coming up? Because I think we've kind of beat this to death right now, but
Yeah,
we will
I
have,
was gonna
we'll have
say,
more conversations about this gun
if
control. I find it
survival,
interesting.
if you do decide to do your podcast, we will be happy to help you out or plug you or whatever we can do to get you out there.
We're networking big time, so this might work out a very opportune time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Like I say, like in the new year for me, like I just kind of like having these conversations and debates, and Friday night, Saturday night. It's cool to sit on the weekends and just network and talk to different people. So I think it'd be interesting, and I'm down, man. Like I just need to get the gear and start something up, and have different debates. And I love talking about the whole gun thing, and I can talk about that for days, right? Right?
I'm impressed because people do get passionate about these topics, but you come in and you're willing to listen. I mean, for example, we want to get people better at their argumentation. If we think their argumentation is wrong, I want somebody to be a better argumenter, right? I want, when they go into a dialectic, which is a conversation, I want them to go in going, here's my argument. This is what I believe. Let me show you why, and give a really good, positive, strong argument, rather than use all these fallacies. Because I tell you what, when you use a fallacy and people that know about fallacies hear that, they don't think your argument's very good. And I don't think you want to put forth a bad argument. Make sense?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Okay, awesome. And I'm not authority on this, don't take that, but I like the subject.
Yeah.
I like debating.
When you're called out on a fallacy, it's not because we want to make you look bad. We genuinely want you to know, hey, this fallacy exists.
Exactly.
And this is what it is, and this is why it's fallacious. So,
and there's a lot of them. We had a hangout a while ago. We went over a bunch of fallacies, trying to explain to the people. There's a lot of freaking fallacies. Trust me.
We have some of our own
a lot of unstructured.
Yeah, I'm
unstructured
man. I mean, like I say, I'm no PhD. I mean, I don't have the education or the vocabulary to debate with you guys, but I had the passion behind it, and this is how I feel. So I'm just trying to keep.
Yeah, you did fine, man.
You
did.
Yeah,
dude,
you did
good. I'm a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah, you did fine.
Yeah, dude. It's not about having vocabulary or anything like that. Like you said, start off with the passion. You learn the nuances. You learn the fallacies, and you get better. That's it. That's awesome.
Passion's the one thing that you can't teach too.
Yeah, you can't teach passion.
If you got that, you're good.
Yeah.
So
appreciate it.
I'll give you props.
Just look at the education system.
Yeah. So if you do a podcast, I'm already on board. I will see what we can do to kind of like give you some assistance in that. Cool.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys.
I have a lot of props for somebody to come in and just start engaging and say, look, this is what I believe, and willing to take on board some type of constructive criticism on that. That's awesome. But anyways, let's talk about us, because we want to promote some stuff before we kind of like take this off, because I know Kyle's got to go here soon. So, Kyle, what do you want to add on our project here?
I think we hit it pretty good in the beginning. Just on the 17th of January at 5:00 Eastern, we'll go live. It will be about that particular topic is going to be stand up. We have Tony Deo, who has been on Conan O'Brien, The Late Show, and the Craig Ferguson Show. He's going to be coming in to talk about the joke writing process and how an idea turns into a joke. Also, for the next segment will be Steve Lesser, who is the guy in charge of the North Carolina Comedy Festival. And this year they've got Shazir Zameda from Saturday Night Live headlining. So he's going to come in.
It's like the 10th annual Ultimate Comic Challenge.
Yeah, that's part of the North Carolina Comic Festival. Yeah. They've got all kind of things going on. He's going to come in and talk about that and what goes into that. And we're just going to kind of be discussing the creative process behind stand-up and what kind of goes in with that, how it is on the road, things like that. I got a guy who won the one of the North Carolina festivals about 3 years ago, named Tom Keller. He will be 2010. He will be co-hosting with me and Steve. Every episode that we do will have a third co-host that is kind of involved with the topic that we're dealing with. So that will be Tom Keller. And then that next week is going to be the food. I know a lot of people are talking about that. That's the food episode. Following that will be that next Wednesday, which is the 31st, will be a episode on atheism, and we have Pam Whistle, who is the editor in chief of the Help me, Steve.
American Atheist. She's the editor of American Atheist.
Editor of American.
This is the only reason why I'm involved in this. He just keeps me around for the fact checking shit. That's it. That's it. I have one purpose in this project, and that's just to keep track of shit.
I'm a little tipsy. She's going to be coming on to talk about. She also works with the National, American Atheist Association, but she's also the editor-in-chief of their magazine. She's going to come in and talk about the organization, the numbers, give us the facts on that. I believe Holy Kool-Aid might stop by as
Holy
well.
Kool-Aid has said he will be there, or he'll try to make it. He said he gave the green light on that. Yes, Holy Kool-Aid. Yep.
Also, back making a little return will be Alex Botten. He will be coming by to talk about the book he's writing.
Alex, everybody, Alex, people, come on.
And he has what he's writing on is, it's outstanding. It's brilliant. He's got a new concept for something that I think is really brave and something that I would never be able to do. But I'm reading it now. It's great so far, and I think when people hear about, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I haven't got my copy yet. Okay, whatever.
I forwarded it to you.
Did you?
I forwarded it to you.
Okay, I'll look.
Mm-hmm. About what it is, I think it's going to be really interesting. It can spark its own kind of talk itself. And that's for the month of January. We've got up until March booked, and we'll wait until closer to time to.
You don't want to reveal you don't want to reveal the February ones yet.
Well, I can go ahead and do that first week. The 7th of February, we've got Mark Curian, who is the editor-in-chief and founder of Beverly Hills Lifestyle Magazine, which they release 4 magazines a year. The past issue was about Nicole Kidman. I mean, he's plugged in to.
He's Lisa Vanderpump's boss.
Yeah, if you know, she's one of the Real Housewives. But it's a great work. He's a great guy. He's going to come talk about what the struggle that he went through forming the magazine and what it took to get it off the ground, and now it's one of the most successful publications, especially out there on the West Coast.
That's going to be awesome.
He's doing really well. But that's the first 4 episodes that we've got going on. So I think it's.
What do you guys think so far?
Really good.
I'm thinking I'll just tune in for the lulls.
How is it going to be lulls? What's lulls worthy about that?
There'll be lulls. Trust me, always.
Lulls. Oh, there'll be lulls. Of course, there'll be lulls. Come on.
We hope. Yeah,
it better be lulls. But it's actually going to be entertaining and informative as well.
Yeah, you got to make that balance.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a good talk. I think for sure.
Non sequitur.
That doesn't have anything to do with the other.
It doesn't follow, man. People are gonna be saying that for like the next year. It doesn't follow.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a shirt that says that. Wait,
the lulls are gonna come on the weekend.
No.
We got a side project too for the weekends on this.
We've got non sequitur on Wednesdays, and then we're gonna have a little ad hominem on the weekend. So,
which is basically the how do we say
talking shit.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah,
kind of. The more or less rigorous type stuff, and hey, what's going on with certain
individuals,
situations. Yeah, situations.
Wait, can you make an ad hominem fallacy by attacking situations?
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out in this one because there's a lot of stuff going on that I can guarantee it. When it comes to like the situation, in the whole
individual.
I can't slur. Can somebody else say I can't see it the way he says it. We have a situation.
Situation.
Situation. I'm not drunk enough.
Situation.
Yeah.
I can't believe people are still using that individual situation as.
Yes. Thank you.
Listen, he's more relevant now than ever.
Oh, and there's so much more out there on him.
He's more relevant now than with the DP disbanding, and he's taking credit for breaking them up. He's more relevant than ever now.
Can we just say this, Kyle? Can we just say this? Listen, I just want to get a little.
Let's not go into any.
I just say this. There's more to the story than what people think.
Yeah,
There always is,
right?
But I don't want to get into the middle.
I don't either. But yeah, you know what? And I was never a big fan of the DPs per se. I think they were brilliant in what they did. I think TJ is a extremely brilliant marketer and showman, right? I think his individual videos that he did were far better than anything he's ever done on the DP, right? I don't know if you ever watched his actual channel. He's got some really good stuff.
It's the end of an era.
What's that?
It's the end of an era, though.
400 shows, I think they did, right?
Yeah, over 400. I mean, that's quite a run.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give props for props are due. I mean, they had a vision and they didn't listen to naysayers and they did it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're going to be okay with whatever they do next.
Yeah. I mean, I hate when there's creative differences, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
They're going to be fine. Wish them well.
It happens. It happens every near the end of the year. I mean, what's the other community out there?
The skeptics.
Yeah, the whole Sargon shit.
Kilroy.
Well, Kraut and Tea.
Kraut and Tea, Sargon of Akkad.
Yeah, wow.
Crap. Yeah,
they are imploding big time over there.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a huge mess. That's a quagmire.
It is. The whole thing with Kilroy is just fascinating. I mean,
I couldn't sort through it. One of these days, somebody who's more.
There's so many layers to it.
Yeah, dude, it's.
I'm gonna have to DM Base Mama and get some real tea on him at some point.
Yeah, it's more. It's like Russia's politics and and the Trump. It's like all over the place. I don't even know where to begin in that whole Sargon crap.
So with everybody pulled out of Kilroy, are they still planning on having the event? Do you know? They've canceled it. Hello?
They canceled it?
I'm asking. I don't know.
I've got no clue.
I'll ask Base Mama because Base Mama is the organizer of it, and she's.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's saying anything.
She's gotten into a tiff with Andy, and Andy's gotten into this thing with Kraut and Tea, and I really don't know what the hell's going on.
It's Mr. Mediker. I mean, his videos are just.
See, I never got into that side of the internet with them. I mean, I like some of Sargon's videos. Not gonna front, but I stayed away from those people. I never went in any of their hangouts. I never got involved with any of them. I'm sure I would have had a lot bigger channel had I, but it wasn't it wasn't where I wanted to go with the Great Debate Community. It wasn't where I wanted to go with my channel. And so I think I made a wise decision. It didn't get me the numbers, obviously, but you know what? Sometimes that's okay.
Well, it's a different it's a whole different animal entirely. You know, the whole social justice warrior movement is just it gets ugly, and it got ugly. And
it's rabid on both sides too.
It's rabid on all across the board. And in fact, the only person I ever wanted to have a talk with on this was June, Shoehead, right? Armor Skeptic's girlfriend, soon to be wife. I heard he tweeted that he's actually asking her to marry him tonight. So I hope she said yes.
I hope she did too. I bet you she would.
I'll tell you who I really like. I really like Andy. I think he does a really good job of trying his best to stay in the middle of and not be too biased one way. It's hard in that particular environment he's got, but I think he does a really good job of that.
You know what? We would need a primer on the whole all those people and their input on this, because it's so I couldn't figure out what's what anymore with that whole situation.
I really can't either.
Yeah, so. I just pay attention to V and Sargon. I don't really watch a whole lot of other people in that sort of thing.
Yeah, me too. Sargon was the only one, and the deepest I got down that kind of rabbit hole, maybe, well, actually just Sargon, I guess. V, I didn't listen to that much.
V is people say a lot of bad things about him, but he's all right.
I'm sure they're all good people. I think it's one of those things that I don't think any of them freaking have an idea what really
not all of them
goes
are
on.
good people.
Well, clearly something happened that somebody's not a good person because somebody did some shit. That's kind of a given, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's multiple things going on there too. Like somebody got doxxed, and then there was it was Crout T's Discord server that got it was doxing, but it wasn't actually Crout T himself that did it, but someone on his server, so that makes him responsible. And he took down all his videos for some reason, and that I still don't have a clear cut answer on because
why do these situations get to that point, David? Why is it when you get to a point where you can't have a decent argumentation, you have to resort to things like doxing? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I haven't had anything unstoppable on my program, because he used to dox, and I found that to be reprehensible.
He was building a war room on a Discord server and collecting almost like a hit list. And there's screenshots of this that you can see, but they were collecting names like a hit list and trying to collect information on those particular names and setting up fake accounts that would distribute news to one side, and they could.
Are you talking about the Crout and T now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
On that academic server that they were building, it was a front for collecting.
This is the bit I didn't know.
Hey guys, I just wanted to interject for a second. It's 10 to 12 Mountain Standard Time, so I'm about 10 minutes out from 2018. So I just wanted to say thank you guys. Appreciate the conversation tonight. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man.
Did you join the community, Survival?
I did, yeah. Thank you. I just subscribed to the channel as well. So,
like I said, that's only the central hub. It's a much bigger network than that, with a lot of channels involved.
Okay,
so you join.
Enjoy your new year.
Yeah, and
enjoy your new year, man.
Happy New Year.
Be safe.
Yeah, you guys too, man.
Don't
Be safe. I'll see you later. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
I mean that tongue in cheek, obviously, but don't go shooting anybody. Okay.
Yeah. See you guys.
You had a good talk. Thank you, sir.
Right on.
Happy New Year.
Well, in my opinion, he did good for a first timer.
I've seen a lot worse. Trust me, I've seen a lot worse. Yes.
I mean, for somebody who wasn't expecting
for years.
For somebody who wasn't expecting to debate, I mean, he jumped right in there.
Yeah, you know what? That's awesome, right?
That's what we're looking for.
And he picked a really tough topic as a first topic.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, the only thing probably been worse if you try to jump in and go, oh, by the way, I'm very much anti-abortion. Let me tell you why women should never have an abortion. Yeah, that would have been like, oh.
The worst would have been the flat. I don't think you can go any worse than flat Earth. I think that's the
flat Earth. Look at flat Earth is 2017. Okay, seriously, there has to be some kind of other dumb fuckery in 2000.
I have to disagree with you, Steve. My dad is still a flat earther, and it's 2018 now.
Max, I love you, but your dad, we both know, is batshit insane.
We know he's batshit insane, but isn't every fucking flat earther batshit insane?
Yes, Max, they are.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, there was that one Scottish dude we had on the other hangout.
Oh,
talking about Anthony Riley?
No. What?
Which flat earther? You talking about Tex? He wasn't Scottish.
No, he.
Ali.
Ali, Ali.
Oh, Ali. Oh, Ali's. Oh, God, Ali's a nice person. Ali, are you talking about Ali?
I don't think he's a flat earther, really. I think he's just drunk all the time and doesn't understand
Ali
what's
B.
happening.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You know what's funny is Ali B. back when years ago, we had a hangout, and at the time, it was the highest amount of views I've ever had. Now we've crushed that ever since with like the Hovind debates and stuff like that. 30 whatever thousand views it is, but he was the highest I had for a while.
That was the debate.
So that part is you put Kim Hovind in it and boom, it goes up.
Yeah, I think Jay is bringing something up, and I went and looked, and I have verified this, but Skylar Fiction has taken down all his videos and put up one. It's about a minute long, and it's a farewell video.
I've heard that, but I haven't watched it yet. So I wanted to watch it before I kind of said anything about it. Should I?
What is that about?
Okay, I don't know, because I just literally talked to Skylar like an hour or two ago. So, because we have some plans with him, so I don't know. So should I watch this, or should I play it in the hangout, or what do you want me to do?
Hold on.
To it actually, it's just literally a video saying goodbye. It's a minute long, and that's it.
I still think I need to watch it before I play it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, careful. This.
Somebody got rickrolled.
Yeah. Well played.
Okay, so I didn't.
Well played.
That's why I didn't want to play it in here because I know Skylar, and I don't have music played in here. But I figured it out.
I really wish my dad had a.
I just figured out what was going on. So all I gotta say is this, Skylar. You know, we loved you in the Great Debate Community, and I love you like a brother. But you know what? Fuck you. There you go. So hey, don't play music in here. I can't have music. Yeah, I can't have music. I can't. Who's playing the music? God damn it! I don't know. I'm muting everybody. 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 Don't play music in here. Okay, there you go. All right.
As for me, I really wish that my dad had a Google Plus he used because I want his life to be crushed. Like his
what do you
entire
think would
life has
happen if
been
your
a
dad would
creation.
realize that the Earth isn't flat and isn't young? What happened to your dad?
Either he'd completely change his ways or he'd kill himself.
Why are some people
He's
so
been a
rapid?
creationist his whole life. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, you want to hear? You want to hear something that's kind of sad, but it needs to get out there. There's this thing with young Earth creation and stuff like that. And this is nothing, nothing that was done in private in Twitter or anything. But Apologia, we all know Apologia. We all love Apologia. Well, he had went to a family reunion, and his sister is a young Earth creationist. And he had, tweeted, and he actually gave us more details about it. But basically, his sister was hugging him, crying uncontrollably, because she was so certain he's going to hell.
Yeah, that's not
during a family reunion. It's just like, that shit sucks.
Yeah, my 5-year-old sister did that too to me.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that. It's heartbreaking.
Well,
oh yeah, it is.
My mom does this thing. My mom acts like I started asking her about my niece who goes to Catholic school because her father is who's Catholic, obviously sends her there, and he's divorced from my sister who's, as far as I could tell, deist, nothing more than deist. So I don't. Me and my sister get along good, but I don't think she realizes the dangers of indoctrination when it comes to this stuff. But Hannah's a really smart little niece. And, so I was talking to my mom, and I think my mom was actually thinking I was advocating on the side of continuing to send my niece to Catholic school. And I was actually trying to argue against it, and I don't think she was seeing that. So we were just literally talking past each other the whole time. But we weren't arguing. It was like I was saying something and she was hearing something completely different in her mind.
Yeah, my daughter went to Catholic school, private Catholic school for a little while, believe it or not. And at one time when she was younger, she actually said something along the lines is like, "Well, who doesn't believe in God?" And I wasn't really willing at the time to have that discussion with her, right? I think now she realizes that it's not as cut as dry as people make it out to be, and I don't think she even cares one way or another. But during that time, I could definitely see the Catholic school influence on her, right?
Oh yeah, there's no mistaking that. And she's around my dad enough. My dad's atheist, so she's around my dad enough that I'm pretty sure she's gonna figure out her own. She's gonna make up her own mind. She's not actually getting indoctrinated. She's smarter than that. And she'll get to a point where she's going to say, "Oh, either it is or it isn't." I'll be able to decide on my own.
Yeah. Well, guys, I got to tell you here, it is fast approaching 11 o'clock my time, and I'm sure it's New Year's for everybody else except for Pacific, which is we're the last. So when we hit 11 o'clock here, it's going to be, I guess, mountain time. I guess it'll be for New Year's. At that point, I'll be ending the hangout. I'm going to spend the last hour doing some other things. No, I'm not going to be doing what you think it is, but other things. I'm grateful for everybody in the Great Debate Community. I'm grateful for everybody that came to this hangout. I want to have these New Year's hangouts annually, I guess, because I was talking to this one. But so let's kind of wrap it up. Give us some last words. Anything you guys want to say? do it now because we already have 3 hours. So, what do you think, guys?
Great discussion tonight, guys.
Accounts because the best coast hasn't had New Year's yet. I just wanted to point that out.
The what hasn't had New Year's yet?
The best coast.
That would be okay. This confuses me because that means the West Coast to me, right? But according to G-Man, Texas is on the West Coast.
Wait. Oh God. You had to bring up that guy's name.
You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? But I'm not. I'm really not.
I know you're not kidding. That's what the scary part is.
Yeah, that's unfortunately so true.
But let's end on a positive note. G-Man had a wonderful hangout in here the other day on the Black Hebrew Israelites. He was calm. He was articulate. He was informative. And you know what? I want to foster that kind of thing. He was very positive. He did really good.
He did good.
And we're gonna have more things like that. So, props to him, right? Yes, yeah. Well, I you know what? I told him this. I talk to G-Man often, and I said, look at G. I said, you have a position you want to put forth, and whether we agree with it or not, you're never going to get that message out to really anybody if nobody understands what the hell you're saying, right? So don't get all upset. I understand it's a character to some degree. I'm not saying he doesn't really believe what he does. He does, but you know what? It doesn't really help your narrative. Let's put forth your thing. Agree on the things we agree upon. Focus on those things, and the rest. Look at this way. If you and then remember kind of telling them, look at. If people are going to agree with you on the Black Hebrew Israelites things, they're more willing to try to start believing you on some of the other things you believe. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. Obviously, I think he has some really out there whack job beliefs. Let's be realistic. But I'd rather focus on the positive things that he's putting forth because I agree with him wholeheartedly. We both of us are very much against racism, just absolutely very much against racism. So let's focus on that or something that we have in commonality, right? Does that kind of make sense? I mean. You see
focus on what you can't talk about instead of what you can't.
Yeah. I mean, I understand with the great debate community, we always will have disagreements and stuff. That doesn't mean we can't agree on the things we agree upon, and on those things we can make a difference. Agreed?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Happy 2018, everyone.